All right, let's see what's going on here. I put us in a special category today so we can just hang out and talk about stuff. We don't have to work too hard today. Actually, I'm probably going to play some video games today while we kind of sit and talk. But we can talk about some Linux. We can talk about some other stuff. Um, and talk about the state of the professional Linux users group, which is right over here. This is our place where we kind of meet and hang out and talk shop. I have a need for some testers down there. We have a fair amount of you guys that actually hang out as part of that group. But I have a need for some testers for the ProLug user. So if anybody wants to get involved with that, you can. We have a fair amount of events and types like, that kind of stuff that's coming up in the future. Let's see, Thursday, June 19th, there's a security project intensive for people that want to work on it. Remember, the security engineering projects end on June 21st. So if anybody's doing security engineering with us, that's a free course, but it's pretty much done. So come down here, Friday, June 20th. There's a study group for that. That's probably going to be one of your last times to get in on that. Then there's the Bash study group. And then the Linux sysadmin course is going to be we're in Unit 11 this week, but we'll be in Unit 12 starting next week. On the 18th, so then we don't have the security engineering group anymore, right? It's gone. I've taken it off. We're all done with that course. That course is buttoned up. There are links and everything in the Discord for people that want to do that kind of stuff. And then in August, we're going to do, we've been running this group for over 11 years, and we've been on Discord for 6 years as of August. So we always have big conferences that come through, and we have a bunch of guest speakers. So I get people from around the industry, guys that are working in, I get programmers to come in, guys that are doing, typically like the programmers are guys that have been doing it for like 10 plus years, or they're like team leads. So they can tell you what kind of the standard is for getting onto some of those teams for people that like doing that stuff. They've got stuff for maybe some of you that are, we're going to have an economist come in. He's got his PhD in economics and he teaches, well, actually he just left teaching, but he consults on economics around the country. So good buddy of mine. I've known him for a long time. And he's real good on the math and the engineering side of things, even though that's a corollary because he's more over on the economic side of things, right? So there's that kind of stuff. Anyways, so lots of Discord stuff, lots of things to kind of get plugged in with the group. If you want, I'm gonna go play me some Mechabellum for a little bit, so you guys can hang out with me. Ask me questions about Linux if you want. I'm keeping an eye on the chat, and I'm just gonna kind of sit around and play some video games for a bit and eat some cookies. Yeah, we could talk about that digits. I need to see if they've put it out yet. I gotta see if this thing's available yet. I don't think this thing's available. Yeah, I'd have to. I don't have a login for them, but I guess I could use Google. My understanding is this thing's going to be around $4,000, and we're going to pick one of these up. Yeah, okay, so that's a question. So Brass over on YouTube asked, is there a ProLug offensive security course coming? Yes, we are going to do an offensive security course. I'm probably going to do the next two courses I'm planning on running or putting together will be the automation and then the offensive side of security. We did the defensive side of security. That's what we've been focusing on. But we're going to do, and I'm very reticent to call it pen testing. Pen testing will be a component of it, but I mean, I don't want to say that's a newer term because pen testing has been around the industry a long time. But kind of when I did it, we were just using, we started off. When I was first learning this stuff and doing this stuff, there weren't even, so to back up a second, guys, 15, 20 years ago, there weren't even laws against doing this. You could technically just do this on the internet against other servers, and there was nothing. I mean, it was bad form, and it was considered impolite, and if you were stealing secrets, I'm sure you were going to get some kind of, but there was no actual law against doing it. Now there's all kinds of laws. Yeah, so if I'm going to show you guys this stuff for the 10, if we do a 10-week course on this, which I am planning on doing, yeah, the offensive security course would be along this kill chain. It would be reconnaissance, and I have a few very good friends of mine that are actually experts in the OSINT side of things. So the just collecting data about companies and stuff, and I would bring them in. I would show you guys the base techniques from like a system side of things, because the system side of these things are pretty straightforward, pretty well known. The tools that we use, they're all pretty well known. Most people, I think, getting into the industry struggle with the first part, which is how to talk about it and get yourself hired, and then the other part of it, which is at the end, which is reporting, because reporting this back out to the customer is really a big part of this. So yeah, I definitely plan on doing this. My plan for running any new courses is probably going to be to start in September. So the reason I say that is because it does take, some of you guys that have been around, you know, it does take a lot out of me and the group to put these courses together. So we've done the admin one, which is 16 weeks. We've done the security defensive, you know, blue team security, which was 10 weeks, and we just finished that one. But yeah, we're going to rerun those again, probably starting in September, and then I'll probably start focusing on making the automation one's going to go together pretty quick. That'll probably be a 16-week automation, and that one's going to touch all of these other pieces as well. So not just automation for the sake of automation, but automation for the sake of administration and security, which is, again, I mean, people are going to pay you to administer their systems and keep them up, and people are going to pay you to do security around their system. So yeah, those kind of things. Yeah, reconnaissance is a big one. But yeah, we would focus on this kill chain. We would not focus, much like we did on our security one. We didn't focus on any one industry standard, because I wasn't trying to make you guys align with like a CISSP or a Security Plus or something when we were doing the defensive side of things. But I wanted you guys to understand the terminology, because all people in security talk about these things the same way, right? So when we go to you know, do the attack kill chain, we won't be going towards one specific penetration type system, or any one penetration type standard. We would be essentially making our own, and not to like try to forge a new path. It's just the things that I've seen in the industry and the things that I've done on red teams are, you know, I don't focus on any one pen test, especially the ones that focus heavily on the Windows side of things. I'm not really concerned with that. Like if you can go and pwn an Active Directory and do all that stuff, it's not that interesting to me, or that, you know, I care more about the Linux side of things and what we're doing there. So that's probably what we would be spending our time with as far as that goes. So, and how we interact with the business, because that's, I'm telling you guys, like the sitting around and hacking stuff, you could figure that stuff out. It's just a bunch of tool chains. I mean, I would argue most people in security are script kiddies, right? I would heavily argue that as an engineer. And what I would tell you, because they're just doing tools, right? That's all they're doing. So where I'm going with that is, I'm much more interested in showing you guys how you would set these things up, how you would interact with the business, because that's kind of, you know, where you're going to find value in it. If you just want to sit at home in your underwear and try to hack into systems and stuff, there's all kinds of bug bounties and shit you can do. You start that today if you want, you know, go on Bug Hunter or whatever, any of those. I don't even know what they're all called anymore. We used to just call them Root the Box. All right, but anyways, I'm gonna play some video games while we're sitting here, and take this one, and we can hang out and talk shop if you guys want to. You know, ask me about Linux stuff. I don't mind pulling stuff up as we're hanging out. But I'm going to play some video games while we're hanging out too. There we go. So, if you have any questions, want to talk about any system stuff, let me know. Probably put some music on too. I don't have any music going right now. Figured it'd be a little more quiet stream. Mechabellum has a little bit of music to it, but it's not much. Let me see. Let me turn this up real quick. Can you guys hear that okay? You guys hear the music for the game? This is like a little soft background music. All right, I'm saving all my money this round, and you might say, why are you saving all your money? Because I'm boating next round. So boating is getting the big boats that fly, and none of these things can hit a boat. Well, nothing on the board right now can hit a boat anyways. Let's see. Oh, they're getting to my tower. That's not good. We knew we were probably going to lose the first round. And the reason is, I didn't spend any money. Alright. All of these are good. But 80% more hit points for my giant boat. Pretty good. Now, nothing on his board can hit a boat right now. And this boat has 80% more armor. Or 80% more hit points than a normal boat. Alright, he's got one thing that can hit a boat now. But it's going to take a lot of shots to take my boat out. So we'll see how that goes. Also, boats do a lot of damage. Alright, let's see. Gotta take these dudes out. Alright, now my boat might die to this guy because he's gonna get so many shots on him, but we'll see. That'll be close. He's gonna get so many shots for free because, well, he's got to clean up all the guys underneath him first. Nah, we win. Alright. Control Byte said not distracted, but just send a ping regarding testing new batch. Yeah, absolutely. We can do that. I'll send you, actually, for anybody that sends me that, let me... shoot, I hit the wrong button. Let me pull this off. I'm going to pull this off to the side, and I'm going to send you the info for it. So give me a second, guys. Anybody that wants to get involved, what I did was I had just posted in our Discord about a new Bastion process, and really I just want guys to test it. So I'm going to send that over to Control Byte. Yeah, I just need you to mess with it, Control Byte, see if it works for you. See what the behaviors are for it and all that kind of stuff. I accidentally hit my calculator. All right. So there's that. Actually, you said something interesting I've been reading. I do a lot of, so if you guys don't know, I do a whole lot of scholarly type stuff, research for my doctorate. And I'm going to start doing Sunday nights where we kind of get on here and I walk through kind of my process and the things that I'm working on. So I'm going to start doing that probably Sunday nights. So today's Sunday, but maybe not this week. We want to decrease the recruitment cost of giants by 50. So if I plan on buying 2 more giant units, this is going to save me money. And I do plan on buying more giant units because I want more boats. So I'm going to put more boats out on the screen. This guy, again, only has one character that can hit boats. And because these guys keep getting in on my tower, I'm just going to kill them with a missile so they don't get in on my tower this time. So screw them, get out of here. We're going to go drop all this stuff down. All right. So, yeah, something interesting I've been reading, though, I read a lot of publications typically from IEEE, and then most of the stuff that I read out of there is, you know, working towards trying to better secure networks. I try to read a lot of systems engineering stuff, you know, just find stuff that's useful. Yeah, this round's going better. We're still going to win. We won the last round, too, but we're definitely going to win this one. But they might take out our towers, which just gives them a lot of experience points, which is fine for them. Let's see, do they get both of our towers? Possibly. Nope, didn't quite get both of our towers. That one survived just a little bit extra hit points. All right. This is what we call getting boated right here. Yeah, but X-Shunya, as far as the stuff that I'm reading, mostly what I do for people that want to see... let me choose. What am I going to pick here? Let's pick this guy. And we will put him right here. So these little guys have machine guns on them and they're pretty useful. But we also want another boat. And then we're going to do something with these boats where they become motherships and they start generating a bunch of wasps. Wasps are these smaller ships. But let me show you guys, let me show you my process real quick. I know I'm jumping around a little bit, but we're in the Just Chatting channel, so we can do whatever we want. If we come over here and you go to scholar.google, right? And you just drop into scholar.google, and we should be able to read this in dark mode. I don't know why this is in such white, you know, light mode. I thought that I had this set in dark mode, but I could have sworn I kept this in dark mode. Um, this will be kind of useful for some of you, but when you come in here, if you're doing Scholar, right, you could just search for, I don't know, let's say you wanted to look for, I don't know, some of my old searches for people. So I was reading things to do discussion posts with some of the other engineers that I'm doing my PhD with, and this was like supply chain resilience, a tertiary study. This was actually one of their reports that I wanted, right? And Scholar.Google will drop you in on a bunch of things, and then you can say, you know what? Because of the fact that we're graduating, we probably want like 2022 and on, because we're searching for up to now, and then this will limit the things that you see. You can also look for things that are cited. Typically, you always want things that are peer-reviewed, right? So you're looking for peer-reviewed stuff. Oh, the game we're playing is Mechabellum. Oh, Hyper, you said, do you have a guidance on how to harden web servers? I have many of them. Yeah, Hyper. I mean, that's a long one, but yeah, could we talk to? Oh, hold on, real quick. Could I talk to like hardening a web server? Sure. We have a lot of material on that down here in our. Shoot, where would we have that specifically? I don't know if I have a specific, just like a hardening. I do have hardening guides that I've written for systems, but probably the best one for me for hardening, if you were just like asking, you know, a specific one, it's probably the best thing for, I guess, starting hardening would be this. Is right in here, and it would probably be the first few chapters of this book here. This is a book that's free, published by our group. I'll link this to people. But this is how I would start like hardening, and this deals with the standards and the compliance, and I use a thing for hardening called STIGs. But one of the things I really try to emphasize with you guys is it's not just about blindly checking boxes and doing the STIGs. This is much more about understanding the STIGs and then understanding why and how we harden things. So your DISA STIGs are all found here, right? So this is part of this. This is all linked in the chapter that I just linked to you guys. But you would come in here to like the DISA STIGs, and you said you wanted a web server. I assume you mean it's an Apache web server. And you would download the Apache STIGs for Unix or Windows, whatever server you're running, right? By the way, guys, if you didn't know, Apache does run on Windows. It sure does. That's been that way for a while. And then I'm going to open up the STIG viewer just real quick, just to show you guys. And this would be, if you said, Scott, could you give me just a checklist of the base things that I should harden on a Linux box or on a Apache server? I would say, yeah, this is the base things I would harden right here. I would come to this, and these are 47 rules for things that you can do right now, and specifically what the challenges are and why they're important to do the things that they are. And these would be all your STIG scores right here, and then you can even keep track of them and all that kind of stuff. So the question is, if we were trying to harden web servers, yes, we could do that. All right. So that's that. Let's get back to Mechabellum. One of the nice things about playing Mechabellum against the bot is I can spend all day talking and it doesn't really matter, because you know what? I'm going to put these guys on the outside over here just so that I don't have to hit these guys with another one of these missiles. But now you guys are going to see all of my dudes release multiple. They're going to be motherships now, and they're going to release multiple of these little guys. They only still have 2 units that can hit the air. So these air units are completely invulnerable except to these 2 guys up here. So kind of a funny little thing. Also, guys, we're hanging out. You can ask me questions. I'm in the Just Chatting channel, so I can just chat all I want. Let's see how our systems are doing. They're still getting in on my towers, which is problematic. But it's not so bad. Because again, hardly those snipers are just wasting shots on the flying guys. So that's what are called the wasps. So all right, let's take these guys out. We're gonna win this round again. Let's see. Just turn over and kill those guys. Perfect. All right. They've still yet to kill one of my boats. So that's funny. And so now we've got all these options. You could pick from these, or you can skip for an extra $50. I'll take the photon coating because that just makes my guys harder to kill. And I'm going to put the photon coating on these guys so that they take less damage. And then the main thing is just to get more boats out, right? I can do another boat. I can do up to 2 per round now. But I also want to give them ground cannons so that they just fuck things up. Too Big to Fail, how's it going? We are just kind of hanging out today. I'm going to give them artillery. So now they're not only shooting their missiles, but they're also shooting ground cannons. And these are going to significantly sweep the ground much faster now as far as damage goes. So we will see how this goes for the poor little enemies that are trying to come in on us now. The boats hit extremely hard. They're probably the second hardest hitting unit in the game. The hardest hitting unit is a Melting Point by far, because he does like this. He's got the scale of damage that he does. That is, I don't know that it's quite exponential, but it's a pretty high linear rate. Is there initial jump box script posted anywhere? Control byte? No. Nice experience regarding the Bastion process. Yeah, Control byte. Did you get to see? So there's a couple of things about the Bastion process that I can talk about. Yeah, let me show you where my general process is posted. Let's finish this round real quick, and then we'll go. All right. So one of the nice things is when you play this against a computer, you could just stop talking and go do other things for a second. Here's where, so my Bastion process is actually on my GitHub, and I need to update it. We were talking about this the other day. It's called the stream setup, and it's because I was originally doing this when we were streaming. So here's the, for Control byte, who asked the question, here's the stream setup. I'll drop this on both sides for you guys. You can see it over on YouTube. But in here, this is my site.yaml to kick off my Bastion. We wrote this, almost 4 years ago now. Me and Michael Pesso wrote most of this. There's a role for the Bastion deploy and then restart SSHD. So if we go and we look in the role for in roles here, and then we go to, what the heck is this? Stream setup, roles, Bastion deploy, tasks, and main.yaml. This is where most of the stuff happens for both the deploy and the teardown of this script, or this playbook, right? We are going to create a user. We're going to add him as, in this case, streamer 1, but really the match user should be username. So I don't know why I need to fix that. So I got to update this anyways. I wrote this so that I could give while I was streaming, I could give you guys access into the jump boxes, right? The back-end servers that we have that you guys can use for your labs. All of this stuff here, everything else down here follows a build process that I have, and I show you guys how to do that over here in Killer Coda. So if we go to Killer Coda, excuse me, and then we jump into my labs, I'll give you guys a link to this here in a second. And if somebody was like, well, hey, how do I build a Bastion host? What does that look like to have a Bastion host? Well, this is how we connect in and control Linux boxes, or connect in and control things from a centralized point. Bastions are just like everybody has to come in through one spot. Bastion node, build Bastion node with a chroot jail right here. And then in there I have some drawings around how a Bastion works, specifically this. I'll show you guys. Security engineering. I think that was Unit 5 with Bastions. No, maybe it was Unit 4. Let's go look. Yeah, so here were Bastions. We go look at our... When we got into this, it ended up kind of looking like this. Oh, geez. Hold on. Bastions are, out here on the network boundary. And then we drop down here to connections in. And this is kind of how the logical design of a bastion and then the physical design for the bastion in the Killer Coda. Stefan over on YouTube said, hey Scott, I'm struggling with passing password to my app. It's mostly Docker. Is it okay to pass environment password into my container? Or should I search for a different way to pass password? What most people do, Stefan, is they, actually, you know, I got a lab that'll show you that. Hold on. It's not my lab. Somebody else wrote the lab. But it's a pretty good lab on that. So Stefan, you want to pass a password in, and you want to make sure that it's not built into one of the layers of your Docker container as you build it. There's a couple ways to do that, but let me show you in Killer Coda. There's a pretty good lab on that one of the guys wrote. It's in the CKS, and it's so this is actually by this was Kim Woostekamp that wrote this. It's hardening static manual analysis of Docker, and this is fixing them, but it's in his actual deployment of them. So I don't think it's actually this one. This one shows you how. Yeah, this is fine. This will do it. So I'll show you here real quick. So this was a question about, like, if you want to have it secured. He makes you walk through, and then here in root apps, he's got these apps containers. You're going to compare app 1 to app 1. So you're going to cat like app 1 to, and then you're going to cat like app 1 9. And you can see which one of these are more secure. But when you get all the way over to app 3, and then you go through the labs, he shows you how to do this, and he shows you some Docker best practice stuff. But what happens is you get down here, and you get rid of the ones that are bad. But when we get to app 3, watch this. He shows you that the guy is like dropping, and I think it's in 3, maybe it's in 2. App 3-4. In 1, he's just echoing in whatever the secret token is into like some file, and then he's running that. But this is being built into the layers. Whereas up here, the more secure way of doing it is it's just grabbing the register secret token off of your platform, like in your shell, basically, as you're building it. And then the secret token is never seen anywhere else, right? So this is the more secure of the two apps right here when you get to this one, as opposed to this one where in the layers that are built in, somebody's put the token into a file that can be read later. So you want to use like this version of it. Anyway, so that's... what's the exam desktop? Oh, if you do a plus membership, apparently you can be in the desktop. That might be kind of cool. I might maybe work on some of those later in the future. But anyways, yeah, this is his version, but this is a more secure way to pass that token in. So there's that, and then there's also in here, there's the Docker file best practices, so you can go and read about how to pass that in a secure way. Now, if you're talking Kubernetes, we could just put it in as a secret and then read it in as a secret as we load up the. And then if you need to know how to do that, that's like, I mean, that's beyond easy. Let's see. Secrets, right? And then you're gonna find secrets in the place I would look for secrets are in here, and you should be able to find over here secrets. Nope, no secrets, huh? Well, should still be. They've got some other good stuff in here. Anyways, there's a whole bunch of stuff in here for you guys to play with and find. But I would tell you that's how I would do it. So, yeah. And then this was the question about bastions. I would say I do have at the end of this how the architecture for a bastion works, and then I have my steps for how I build bastions. But this is what you do in that lab that I had linked earlier, guys, right here. All right. Anyways, but that's what we're kind of working on today. All right, let's beat this robot up real quick. Oh, shit! I did not mean to skip that. I meant to close it so I could see the screen better. But it literally doesn't matter, because what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make another boat and put him over here, and we're just gonna ignore whatever he's doing and just keep powering boats over the top of him. We're also going to go ahead and take more damage. We're going to attack, and then we're going to just, again, this guy has only 1, 2, 3 things. That melting point back there can hit air, but it'll get murdered by my boats right now, so we're fine with that. All right. Take them all out, guys. Take them all out. No being nice to them. Yeah, we're literally swarming over the top of these guys. All right, that's good. That's a good win. Yeah, Stefan. In that instance, yeah, you're still using an unencrypted password, but the password's never exposed. That's right. If that's how. Yep. In that case, yes. Let's see if another. I sometimes get beat by these things. It just depends. So I'm not great at this. We can also play it against humans if we want to. So now I get to pick the things that I want. I'm going to take cost control. So I get 100 extra money per round, but my guys are 11% weaker. Right? 11% less damage, 11% less hit points. But here's the thing. You can offset that very quickly by buying over here. You can buy that back and offset that back with 12 and 15% more, which pretty much brings you back up to a normal person that's just getting more money. We're going to take some snipers. Put some snipers in the back line. These guys will just reach out and touch everybody. And then we'll go ahead and we'll take more damage just so that we're back to like an even number of damage. All right, so the game has been playing meta, like the bots play meta, which is this is very much what like most people do. They come in on a side and they leave the other side unprotected. So we're going to take advantage of that in the future rounds, but we'll just for now, let's see if we can maybe survive a little bit here. I should win these exchanges only because my my ranged snipers are doing so much damage from the back line. Talk about any projects you like this weekend. Xshunya, yeah, well, we had 4 projects that people did. I thought, or sorry, 3 projects that people did. I thought they were all pretty good. I'm gonna take this thing for free, and I'm gonna put my phoenixes right along the back here. So now after round 1, you can flank. So we're just gonna flank, and then we're going to. What do we want to do? Let's take another one of these, another one of these, so we can have more of these little things. But the projects were good. Kolkis did a project on Bastion, so he did a lot of the stuff that I did, but he automated the deploy through Bash. And I think and I liked that project because by touching each piece of it and turning it into an automation with a shell script, I think he understood all the components better. So these were the final projects for the security engineering course, guys. Zorgel did a project on the integration of a tool. I forget the name of it right off, but it was basically instead of doing IT, it's a thing called like operational technology, which is a slower, more factory-based, like 10, 15, 20-year type life cycles of systems instead of like how we do. I mean, in the IT sense, we tend to deal with about a 3 to 4 year life cycle of hardware, right? Stuff moves quickly in IT. He was dealing with stuff in like a factory setting, and then he was looking at kind of like SCADA and these requirements for like monitoring those things. So I think he did. I didn't get to see all of his stuff because I had a family party going on, but I was kind of in and out. And he was doing some stuff with like securing the communication and maybe even getting information out of them. So that was cool because that was like reporting and security logging and stuff, which is all very important. And then the other project was actually the one that probably most adhered to the original idea of this, which was following a standard of some type. And that was Treasure that did that one. And his was around what a HIPAA implementation might have looked like, right? Like you have some standard in the organization or industry that you're dealing in, and you have to be ready to do whatever, that standard calls for. So yeah, so his talk was around adhering to that standard in some generic business or whatever. So yeah, I thought they were all great, Xshunya. I think they adhered to different, like, and as it should be if you're going to run a course on like an overview of security engineering, people are going to pick different focuses and things that are interesting to them, and they're going to dig in on those, right? I have had, I tell you guys, like one of the niche things I've fallen into as a systems engineer over the years is I build a lot of stuff. People use me to build servers that all look exactly the same. I don't know why I do that better than other people. I don't know why I'm good at that, but that is one of the things I tend to be very good at. If you need 10,000 servers to look exactly the same, I'm pretty good at that. And you say, well, aren't there tools and don't you use cluster manager? Yeah. I mean, there's other people that are good at it too, but it's one of the things that I've always kind of excelled at in my career. So that's what I do a lot of. Well, so some of these guys are going to want to do that. And some of these guys are going to want to, do compliance and audit. And that's something that most people I know that get into IT security and then they fall into like compliance and audit, they hate their lives, right? So most people fucking hate that because you don't even get to fix anything anymore. You're literally just complaining all the time to engineers that all hate you because you're making more work for them, right? So, yeah, anyways, actually, the question was, were there any projects from the final week this week that I liked? And I liked all of them. I thought they were all good in their own ways, and they all adhered to the spirit of what we were doing, which was understanding how a security engineer, from a Linux standpoint, how are we securing the foundation of compute and processing and storage and transport of data for our companies, right? And at the end of the day, that's what we were trying to do was get better at that. So, all right, let's see. Can we up our this will be up our hit points, and let's just let this ride. Let's see how we do. I think we'll win this one big because our guys are going to take a little while to teleport in back here, and then they're just going to walk over to the base, and then this thing right here is a Wraith. He's kind of annoying, but once they get stunned here, because they're going to get an EMP in about 2 seconds, then now they're going to take double damage during that. So yeah, the Wraith is almost down. Yeah, there goes the Wraith. So now they don't have anything that can hit my guy that's flying. There we go. We win. I don't care about any of these things. But maybe we want more speed. We'll take more speed for fun. And let's go. You know, we'll do do like a meme. We'll do this as a joke. We'll grab these guys. Whoops. And we'll put them up here behind these other guys. And we'll just make this a whole thing. We're just like a big old floating array of Phoenix go from the back. Those guys hit really hard too. And then maybe we'll just make these guys shoot further. That's good. Let's see how this round goes now. Those guys get to come in faster because they're already teleported back. These guys take a little longer now. So they got their first EMP for about 5 seconds. They're weaker, both on giving damage, and they take double damage. That's a good topic. Too big to fail. So you recently saw a job listing for HPC engineer at a large research university, interested in working through the labs with an eye towards preparing for a job like that. Okay. A couple things about that. I think that's excellent. One, I mean, I'm a big fan of doing HPC. That's where I've kind of built my career. I got into high performance compute about 2009 after doing Linux for some time. We're going to take laser sights so these guys shoot further. This is going to be terrible. But okay, so my what I would advise there, let me pull something up here. I have a talk. I do need to update a version of this talk, guys, and I apologize. I've been saying for a while that I need to update a version of this, but HPC topics for our professional Linux users group kind of looks like this. Oh yeah, this game is so much fun. Because it's an auto battler, right? The game just plays on the side. But this is, oh, get out of here. It keeps wanting, me to log in. But this was high performance compute systems engineering topics. And this was like, if you're already a Linux engineer or somebody that does this stuff, what would you need to move over into high performance compute? What skills, what things would we talk about? And the idea is, this is the overview. Like, what is high performance compute? How is it used? What industries and applications? And it's a lot, guys, especially as Too Big to Fail said, like a large research university. And I've done a lot of, guys, one of the things that I do with my company Redline is I get dropped in to sit next to like university teams. And you say, what do? I train them. I make their documentation better. I update how they update their systems. I do all the Linux and processes, and I just make stuff work better. That's what I do, guys. Yeah, you got to learn the networking side for HPC for sure. But these are the things that I think you bring over from like system skills you already have if you're already in Linux. And then just HPC concepts like compute nodes, cluster management systems, and I got to update this. I got so many more of these to do now. Schedulers, shared storage, networking, and then HPC tooling. And again, I have a lot of things like Open On Demand and some of these great tools that we use to give people access to these. But there is a recording of this up on YouTube. So Too Big to Fail, you could spend a little bit of time on there and maybe get some notes, and then if you wanted to, from your notes, wanted to sit down and talk here or talk down in Discord sometime, I'd very gladly do that for you. So then this is like, what is HPC? What is it and what isn't it? Because that's an important thing to understand. Here's the what it isn't. It's not just big processing and big data lakes and stuff. What it is multiple systems acting as one system underneath like a job scheduling controller, right? I probably need to update this a little bit because one of the things, as I have gotten back in and have been doing this much more the last few years, there's an alignment here with one of the NIST standards that I think is really good. So there's a NIST standard for HPC, and the NIST standard is the 223. So I'll link this for you, but I also need to get this. Oh, hold on, I want to link this for you. So this is the standard. Hold on, it's taking its time coming up. And it looks like it was withdrawn, but it's still kind of, is there a new one? There may be a new one. No, okay, so this one's still good. I'll link this for you real quick. Here and here. Twitch and YouTube, there's links. And this really gets us to the heart of like how we secure HPC in the government. And then this is like a drawing, like we use this a lot to show customers. This is the architecture of what we build a lot of times, right? You've got external resource and then how you access with login, data transfer. Sometimes these are called data nodes. Sometimes they're called data mover nodes, all kinds of things. Web portal nodes, which would be like your, so login nodes can schedule directly from schedulers like PBS or Slurm. Data transfer nodes would probably be running things like file system connections back in here to storage, and then be able to pull like FTPs, and SFTP and different security protocols out. And then web portals are going to be like if you're letting people drop in like Jupyter Python, Jupyter Notes, right, or RStudio. And a lot of this is stuff like Open On Demand and different things that give people access into the system within the rules and constraints of what they're allowed to do on the back-end compute nodes. Then we have high-performance networks, which tend to run something like InfiniBand, or they could actually be high-speed Ethernet networks that are, you can get a lot out of like a 10, and I've even seen 400 gig Ethernet, right? But it tends to be very short. But these are back-end, typically SAN-type performance speed networks and those kind of things, right? Anyway, so then we would go through this and we talk about how it is and system skills and what you need to bring and what you need to know about Linux to be good here. And then, the automation, the benchmarking, and then I go into like compute nodes and all this different stuff that's out there and all that stuff. So that is a version of the system. All right, sorry, where am I at here? Yeah, that's what I would tell you to start there, Too Big to Fail. And I would say, like, start on that if you want to look at any of my stuff. If you say, oh, Scott, I got nothing, you got nothing for me, then I'd say, all right, well, then go. I would spend a little bit of time looking at the tools that are big. So, like, Platform LSF and Slurm are major job schedulers. You got to understand your job schedulers. Keep those open for your users. And probably that NIST 800-223 will probably be good places for you to go. I know you're not necessarily saying that. I'm just saying, like, if somebody in general was like, Scott's got nothing for me, I'd say you're probably right, but maybe this is where I would go with it, right? All right, let's, we're going to give these guys, this is going to be ridiculous. We're going to give these guys even more range, and we're going to make more of them. This is ridiculous. This is, like, stupid to put so many of these guys back there. No human would let me do this, but the bot's apparently going to just let me run roughshod over him in the back line over here. All right, so... Again, more and more of these guys, they've got long range. They immediately hit his tower because he didn't put anything in between there. And then we're gonna walk this level. We're gonna beat this. Now I could play against humans right now, guys, but I would have to not talk and not go mess around and show you guys other stuff, because if you do this against humans, you only get 90 seconds to do all that stuff. Yeah, Xshunya, I thought about that. The problem with me for doing a course specifically around HPC is I don't have a lot of the hardware for you guys. So you gotta do some hardware. If we were going into later rounds, you would do this, because then you would get $150 more per round, but you would have to spend $250 this round. I'm handily ahead, so I'm just going to take the firepower controlled system and put on this guy. We're also going to promote these guys, and we're going to give them even more range as they level up. So these guys are going to be ridiculous. Sure, we'll promote all these guys, even though I literally don't think any of this stuff over here matters. And then sure, we'll take another sniper to just shoot far. This is just, we're just wiping the game. Yeah, John Jones. That's the other thing too. Yeah, I do have to really have you guys build and practice HPC stuff. I do need to make you, you do have to kind of power it and turn it on and off and play with it and stuff like that. So we could pretend a lot of this stuff. We could definitely pretend a lot of it, but I don't think we could pretend enough for me to really get you guys in. Now, for people that were already heavily into Linux, it's not that big of an alignment to get you guys on there. Yeah, actually, we could definitely do some sessions. I know people have been asking about security stuff, so I don't mind running like a cybersecurity, like that certified in cybersecurity, which is the basic entry-level course for like ISC squared. I wouldn't mind running that with you guys. A lot of you guys know I'm a CISSP and a CCSP, so those are kind of two of the big industry standards on that. But the CISSP and the CCSP are huge commitments, and they're like $800 each to take. So the Certified in Cybersecurity, which is the entry-level course, is still free to take. You can sign up and get a free voucher for it for free. It was like the first 1 million people were going to be free, and I don't think they've even went through all of that in the last few years. So we could definitely get. And even if they weren't free, they're only a couple $100, which is absolutely more reasonable. Like, I don't expect somebody trying to get in the industry to go spend $800 on a certification. That's a high cost certification, right? So I wouldn't expect you guys to do that to start. So, all right, so we won, but we're just playing the bots because the bots are we get a lot of time to think against the bots, and I can go talk about other stuff. So. There's that. But yeah, Xshunya, I will definitely think about it, because we have a lot more time now. I've freed up my time on the weekends, where the security engineering group is kind of, I guess you would call that, ramping down. And then there's still the bash study group. There's still some stuff for the other guys, but we're still doing the Linux sysadmin course at 3 p.m. my time on Saturdays. If you guys look that up in Discord, it'll show it to you in your time. But maybe I'll start doing, I don't know, maybe I'll do something like, maybe as this one finishes at 3, maybe I'll start putting one at 4 so I'm not burning my whole night. And maybe that one will just be, I don't know, maybe we'll just do that one as like a, maybe job workshop or something, like get people can ask questions. Maybe we can even do some interview stuff like we've done before, and I think that would be good. Hey Tawny, how's it going?
Next anniversary I might know the meaning of life, the universe, and everything.
For sure, at number 42, you should. I got Tani. I don't know if you were around a few months ago. We went to the bookstore, me and my wife, and then a couple of a niece and nephew, and I got my nephew the five. There was a 5 book Hitchhiker's Guide series. I read them individually as a kid, but the 5 book is all in one now, and I got him that. So he I was telling him some of the jokes from it, which I know he's not going to remember all the jokes till he gets there, but then he's going to think they're really funny. But yeah, the creature that's so stupid that you don't look at it, and it assumes that because you can't see it, that it also can't see you, and because it's this like mud bog creature of some planet, and it's so dumb that it looks at you, and as long as you're not looking at it, it assumes that since you can't see it, it also can't see you back. Yeah. So there's the yeah. I love Douglas Adams' works. I thought he was a masterpiece of authorship and such. He also, I found out later, because I always liked his stuff, but I didn't know he wrote for the BBC. He wrote Doctor Who. He wrote a lot of the jokes that were in the original Doctor Who. That was him, you know. And I'm like, that makes sense because everybody loved Doctor Who, and it makes sense that that guy would have been involved with it. All right, we're gonna take. I guess, do we do Fire Badgers? I like the opening of this, so I'll take this one. Dedication said, "Hi, Linux system course on June 21st." Yeah. So yes, the course that starts. Well, let me say a couple things here. This course here, the Linux sysadmin course. This is a 16-week course. We're on round 2, and we're going to be in week 12 this next week coming up. So this one's been running since, I don't know, like a month ago or 2 months ago. We'll be in week 12. This one is all on YouTube. Yeah, this is on its own playlist. And if anybody's in the Discord and says, oh, shoot, I need to find all that stuff, you just go to Beginner Start here. And here's all 16 weeks of that course, and all 10 weeks have now been recorded for the security engineering course. So they're all here. So yeah, dedication. If you get in there and you're like, hey, I need to find these, or I need to go look them up. Here you go. For people that, the goal of this is to get you guys into Linux. So if you don't know any Linux, I think these are pretty good. And then if you are like, hey, I've got some Linux, but nobody's even giving me a shot, maybe we just get some certs on your resume. And these certs are all free right here. I'm not related to them in any way, except I have some of them, and they're free. So like, it's one of these things like, let's get something on your resumes, guys, so that you can start getting into the industry, Like, I want people to do this stuff so that I don't have to do it anymore and I can just go retire. And you guys might say, but you just turned 44. You're not old enough to retire. I assure you I want to retire. Even if nobody thinks I should yet, I definitely want to. All right, we are building out a set of. So if you guys have never seen Mechabellum, Mechabellum's a game where it's called an auto battler. We're gonna set our guys up, and the computer's gonna set their guys up, and they're gonna just automatically go at each other and try to kill each other. Now I could be playing this again against people, but the reason I'm not playing this against people is because you only get about 2 minutes to think, and if I'm sitting here talking to you guys, I would have to focus way more on the game if I was doing that. So this will be an interesting match here because the guys in the back are launching artillery. They're the highest damage small units in the game, and we should probably win this one as long as my snipers don't get all killed. Yeah, we'll win this one. And then this is just a little strategy game, and then you do damage. You'll see the damage go against him on the right there, the bot. So if you guys have never seen Mechabellum, fun little games. It's a super fun little time waster. And now we get to pick. So this is, they're being presented the same thing, and they've got to pick what they think are good for their winning of the, paper, rock, scissors, lizard, Spock, or whatever it is. We're gonna take some wasps, and we're gonna put wasps way back over here in the corner because as of unit 2 or as of round 2, you can start to flank them if you want. The trade-off is it's going to take twice as long for these guys to zone in, so there's about 10 seconds that they appear. And these guys can hit them, and this guy can hit them, so they're not what would we call that? Protected. These guys actually will beat them, so I might want to turn them. Let's go put them back here. Yeah. And then now we got to focus on the front line here. And I like to do, when they're doing artillery, I like to make my tanks have more hit points and they heal every second. So we'll let them heal because those rounds come in slow. So when they're just hitting around the tank will heal and it'll take a lot more shots to kill them. And let's go ahead and take another one of these, put it back over here. That's good. Next round, we get a free Fire Badger. So Fire Badger's this thing. Yeah, see, these guys are walking away, which means these guys are going to get right in on their tower. So that's what we want. All right. They're going to get right in on their tower and hit them with an EMP, and that's going to make the game easier for us. Yep. Clean them up. Easy round. And again, we're playing it on the hardest mode, but the game can't make it too hard. We can choose any of these. They're being offered the same thing as us. Let's take a barrier in case we get a big ground unit later. I know it looks like a little Metroid. Let's put these guys up front. Maybe put them over here. And then what we want, for right now, let's get 2 more of our snipers. Let's give our snipers extended range. Now your tech goes up, so the tech is really cheap to start, but every time you tech up a unit, the tech gets more expensive. So I'm going to buy a 300 range enhancement, and everything else gets way more expensive for these guys. When we get later in the game, sometimes we'll have all of the, like one type of unit all the way teched up. And a sniper, the marksman, they have like 12 different types of tech, but you can only bring 4 to battle with you. So there's choices that are made before we even get into the game that affect how the game is played. So this game has a lot of fun. I had a grandkid at 38, actually, yeah. Yep, I am a grandpa at 38, but I'm 44 now, yes. So yeah, the question was, I'm a grandpa at 44. Yeah, I was a grandpa at 38. So, which I know is pretty young, but that is still true. All right, killing all the bad guys. Yep, that's good. Looks like our guys are collapsing their whole left side over here, and then we should just be clean up here. There we go. These artillery guys can't hit air flying units, so the game's over once that last marksman falls. So. Yeah, this game. Yeah, John Jones. This game has a good depth of strategy for sure. If we can get a giant unit. Oh, okay. So this is actually like giving us the most to think about, right? I don't want to subsidize Mustang, but Mustangs are excellent anti-air characters, and sure, we could decrease the recruitment cost of non-giant units. So as long as I was going to buy 6 more tanks and marksmen and other stuff like this would start to save me money. Or this one is I can just deploy 3 units in a round instead of only 2. This is huge. As is this one, because it generates a huge amount of crawlers as chaff on the screen. But what I probably want is I'm going to take an additional deployment slot, and I'm going to do something crazy. See how we have this one wasp up here? I'm going to generate, let's do it. Let's just make 3 more wasps, right? We'll grab them all. We'll just put them all in the corner over here. So now, as we've been bringing 1 wasp over, we're going to just start bringing 4, right? So then now, yeah, we're just going to watch them. Now these guys get pulled back now because we were too close. But they should, these 2 will probably even out. Yeah, we should be able to kill the fangs. And then now we're just going to wipe over the top of that. So there we go. Now in the next round, they won't take as long to zone in, so it'll be pretty good. Yep. Also, supposed to get to 110 today in Phoenix. That's a wild amount of heat, guys. 110 degrees. We do Fahrenheit here, so 110 Fahrenheit. Yeah, we're cleaning these guys up. We might even win this one. Nope, he's got one more round left in him. All right, let's see if we get a big. So we can get the fortress. Gets more attack and hit points and speed, but decreases range. We may buy that, right? And then unlock the fortress, which costs us a bit, and we can unlock him, right? And then we can also give him this shield right here. So now he's got a little shield over him and all of his buddies, right? But then also, I might just pick, for now, I might come back over here and I'll give these guys range. So now these guys are going to have maximum range when they shoot. And they're just gonna clobber right over the top of these guys now. These fangs won't even be able to hit them, probably. Yeah, they barely even get a shot off before they're dead, so there we go. Happy Pops Day. Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, it is Pops and Grandpops Day today, isn't it? Technically. I posted up Happy Fargers Day, if any of you remember Austin Powers. Which is funny, because Austin Powers came out when I was in high school, so that's an old movie right there. Yeah, the bot, even on the highest mode, very rarely responds to you like a person would. But we'll keep playing on him, because then we can talk about other stuff and do other kind of stuff for sure. All right. Also, I am out of my drink, so I might get some water here in a second. So this one's interesting. I like quick supply. Gives me more supplies in the first round. That's all. I like fortified a lot because he has more hit points for his units, and I do like that opening. But we'll take quick supply, and we'll play this like a little bit different way. And what we'll do on this one is we'll go here and here, protecting at our angles. And then we'll put these guys in front, because these are just kind of chaff. They do shoot up, though, so these guys are good, because they can shoot flying units. Not a lot of units can do that. And then we're going to get another tarantula, and we're going to open up and get a marksman, because I'm a big fan of marksman. So we'll put the tarantula here, and the marksman back here. And then we'll see how the computer plays before we go into whatever other strategy that we might, kind of slide off into. We'll save that extra 100 for next round, because we'll probably, we should win this. Because these guys are these are little shotgun dogs. They've got some chaff, and then they've got their Mustangs back there. We should be able to, I'm thinking we should be able to win this. We'll see. I think we got the firepower to win this one. Yeah, we should pull this one off. Yeah. Let's see. They're gonna split. Come at me. Let's see. It's close. It's gonna be close. Take him out. Oh, that was the worst timing for an EMP I've ever seen. All right, they got us. They got us that one. But that's okay. You don't really care how the opening goes that much. We could pivot to Wraiths. Wraiths are great. Wraiths are less good when they've got Mustangs, but we can check. Do their Mustangs have armor piercing? Their Mustangs do not have armor piercing, but they do have aerial specialization, which gives them more attack against aerial units. But even then, Wraith might still be good. Let's go Wraith. Wraith is a fun pivot. So what he gets, and we'll use him for, is let's do another one. We'll just put the other one over here. And let's see how we start off. He has these 4 little things that'll pop out. You can customize them up to 8 as well for more damage. But I don't have that customization on my guy, or tech on my guy. But they target a lot of things, they do a lot of damage, and they will kill a lot of things. Let's see how we do here. Yeah, Wraith was a pretty good pivot. Chris, you moved over to Cloudflare. What advantages did it give you, if you don't mind me asking? I don't have any like real skin in that game. I just curious what if anything prompted it, or if it was just like something that seemed like a better thing for you to go with. All right, take Amp Core for more damage and more hit points. That's a pretty good one. Take Underground Threat, but we only get it every 3 rounds. That's the one that's going to generate a bunch of people. Don't care about the Rhino Assault. Don't care about Mass Produced Phoenix. We'll probably take the Amp Core, put it over on this guy. And what we can then do is we're going to take a Degeneration Beam. So these guys are now going to create this aura around them that just makes kind of makes everybody tired. If you want to think of it like that. It yeah, makes them less attack and less speed, and they take more damage. So this is just a fun little thing to do. And then because I didn't get any units, I'm going to take 2 more snipers. Snipers in the back line. Snipers are just great all-around units, and then we'll up this sniper a little bit. And for fun, we'll add more damage to our guys. So there we go. You'll see anything in this little range is just going to start kind of getting like electrocuted almost looking, but it's them slowing down and getting weaker, and if you want to think of it as tired, that's fine too. It's just a Degeneration Beam. So makes them weaker and slower in general. So you do want that, because then it just buffs you and weakens the enemy, right? So it's classic strategy of any RPG type game, right? Weaken the enemy, buff your guys. Oh, can we win? I mean, we're definitely gonna win, don't get me wrong, but can we do it without them getting our tower? Nope, they got you don't want them to get the tower, because then they get extra XP, and then the units can get up. So this unit, yeah, he leveled, so now he can pay the money to level him after the round. You don't want their units to get leveled ever. You want them to be weak. The leveling in this game is very brutal, because if your character dies quick, he never levels, and there's no help. We want heavy armor, 80% more, and we're going to put it on the big old flying warship. And then we're going to take these guys, and we can upgrade them all to make them stronger. But we can also give them the ability to heal. So now, as people damage them very weakly, they're also going to heal. So you're going to see that, yeah, they don't have anything of any use. Yeah, we're just going to walk them with these 2 wraiths. So the game, again, it's not like playing a human. The humans are much smarter than the game. In that, like, look, you're seeing everything hit my wraith on the right side, and it's not even moving his life bar, because he just is regenerating faster than they can damage him. Everything, literally everything on the right is targeting my wraith, and they can't hurt it. So this is going to be a walk over the top of them. They're still going to get my tower, though, which is annoying. Not much I can do about that, I guess, but they still get to, get the experience for killing my tower, but they still can't, like, they're not doing any damage to me, though. That's annoying. Super annoying. And they killed my sniper. Oh, yeah, they're dead. There we go. Chris said better visibility in certain metrics and advantage of proxying web requests. Yeah, I've heard good things about Cloudflare and proxy. And I have not shown you guys how to build like proxy and reverse proxy servers to like hit multiple endpoints. But I think that's going to be something, that's definitely something when we do a high availability version of the security engineering course when we talk about high availability. It'll definitely be good to show how to do like a load balancer back to a bunch of nodes, because then it's not just one bastion node that you can get in, it's 3 bastion nodes, and those 3 bastion nodes are going to be determined based on, you know, some round robin protocol that you're not aware of, and it's going to, well, when I say you're not aware of, I mean the person getting in. And that's more, the more closed box of a solution you can have to allow users in, the less ratchet bullshit the users can do. And yes, there's probably better ways to say that, but that's the way that I think to say it. So users are going to do ratchet shit if you let them. That's the rule of engineering. You gotta, if you make something user proof, they'll make a dumber user, right? That's kind of an old saying. I know I tell you guys not to get overly you know, try not to get what's that called, overly cynical as an engineer, but it's true, man. The users are going to do wild shit to your systems, and you're just going to like scratch your head like, you're doing what? All right, we're going to make another one of these, because literally these guys can't even hurt these. So we're just going to keep putting more of them up in the sky. If they don't respond, we're just going to keep doing what works, you know, and that's going to be the goal. So also, somebody just messaged me, so let me see what that message was. Also, for some reason, oh, hold on, we got to watch the battle. It's rude to jump out on the battle. Again, literally nothing is even hurting these guys. That's moving their life bar. Like, they're being hit right now, but then they're full again. So, yeah. Wraiths are a true problem if people can't do a lot of damage up towards the air, and the computer's just not. It's not responding. It's on the hardest mode. It's just not responding to what I'm doing. So. Then we can take efficient tech research, so we can start teching stuff up more. We'll probably take another one of these guys and put them over here. And then what efficient tech? So now instead of 300, this is only 250. We'll take more range for these guys. And then these guys, I really love, one of my favorite things with these tarantulas is this unit right here. It's they're going to fire off these little spider mines that are kind of, well, they're tarantulas, so then tiny spider mines. And the reason it's so good is because it's just more chaff on the battlefield, and if the chaff happens to get to the enemy line, it just blows up. So the spider mines are like literally one of the funniest things to me. I think it's so funny, but watch this. So right as this battle starts, they're going to shoot off these little mines, and those mines are just going to charge the enemy, and if the enemy doesn't respond or take them out, they're just going to blow the unit up. It's hilarious to me. Oh, one's getting up there. Boom. It didn't get them. They got it. But they had to waste all those shots, right? Those shots weren't going, and now there's more spider mines. So the spider mines just keep going every few seconds and just perpetually dump on people. What is it? Every 15 seconds they dump more mines onto the battlefield, and those mines will run all over the place. They just dump more. So there you go. All right, that's game. Game for that one. Yeah. There we go. And then the other part of the high availability, Chris, that I need to put into the course too is VIP, which are virtual IPs, and then just taking over VIP and then controlling the different systems via whichever one is the primary node, right? And then we could get into Stoneth a little bit. We probably won't run Stoneth, but that's shoot the other node in the head. That's a pretty good concept. All right, supply specialist gets an extra 50 additional supplies per round. That's pretty good. These other ones, they're all okay. But I want the supply specialist. I'll take an extra 50 per round. Let's do tanks. A couple of snipers. And then our chaff is going to come in late. Because what happens a lot of times is your chaff will run in too early, and it won't get, or your chaff will, it's just, yeah, it'll run up too fast, and then you'll have the enemies will kill it all. So we're gonna make these guys lock if we can on the tanks, and then we're gonna be able to charge in, because if you can basically get your anything up against these guys, these are the missile launchers, the Stormcrawlers. If you can get up against a Stormcaller with the crawlers, it just murders them. They can't hit it. So it's one of the strategies for me to kind of keep these guys moving in later. Now they might be able to finish them all off, but they're just wasting shots that aren't going at my actual units that I care about. So the chaff did its job there. Although these guys are now going to get good shots in, which is less good for me. But yeah, they're going to clean the tanks on the right side out. They're all dead. But we're probably going to lose this, but it'll be close, so that's good. It's not too bad to lose it close because then you don't take much damage. But all right. Oh, we can go Wraith again, or we can start doing Wasps. I've been doing Wasps a few times. Let's go Wasp pivot, and we'll go ahead and put the Wasps up in this corner, which is funny. And then we've got plenty of extra money where we could buy more Wasps. Let's just buy more Wasps and put them down here and up here. So we're completely surrounding him with Wasps. Let's see if he reacts in any way. He did put some snipers up, so this sniper is going to be shooting at my Wasps over here. And then he did also put... This thing's going to chew through my Wasps like nothing, the Wraith. But this guy's going to lose to the Wasps because there's too many of them and he shoots too slow. So we'll win that. We'll win the tower. And then that'll put an EMP on them, and that'll be good. Then their damage will be way down. That's exactly what we want. And the Wraith will probably lose to my snipers. We'll see. This will be real close as far as how that Wraith does. We got him. All right. Not too bad. Not too bad. All right. I don't like any of this stuff. Mobile beacon's pretty good, but we don't need any of that stuff. Let's just skip it. And for now, we'll add more of the Wasps. Put them over here. And we're going to give all the Wasps more range. And we'll promote these Wasps back here too. And there's all our money. That's all the money we got. Alright. Can these Wasps get in and take this guy out like they should be? Come on, turn. Amazing. That was a waste. Alright, we'll still get on their tower pretty quick, so that's good. Free mobile beacon is good, true. That's true. It would save me $100. That's true, because you can buy mobile beacons, guys, but a free one is very good, yeah. The reason mobile beacons are really good too against Stormcallers is you can make them miss by having fast units run around the battlefield. We can move down the cost of marksmen and buy a whole bunch of them. But since this one might go long, we're going to buy 150 additional supplies starting next round. So we're investing in our future a little bit. And what we'll do for now is we'll up our sledgehammer and get a couple more of these guys, our marksmen. And then let's promote our Wasps. And the reason we're promoting our Wasps is because they're going to later on be able to shoot better with the elite marksmen. The higher their level, the more range they get. And more attack per level too, which they already get, but they'll be even more damaging. Alright, he put a hacker out. Hackers are stupid because these characters only can work on things on the ground, so it's not going to help any against my Wasp swarm. So I don't, again, a human would never have done this, but the bot will. And it's already dead right there. So that was a silly move. And just the game being the game, but sometimes the bots are really challenging. They actually behave well against you. So that's true, John Jones. Yeah, you can kite out bigger units and move them around. That's true. And if I was playing people, you guys would see a lot more dynamic, a lot more kind of smart plays by humans. I almost always take advanced targeting systems for range if I have them, especially now that I'm getting more money. And then what I want to kind of do is let's get a few more Wasps just for fun, and just give this thing too many things to shoot at over here, and we're going to give them Ignite. And what Ignite does is there's a chance to do 6 hit points per second. And you might say, why, or 6% hit points. And the reason this is so big is because this makes the Wasp now effective against the biggest unit in the game. It doesn't matter how powerful you are. If every time I punched you, it took 6% of your life, right? Let's just say it was a video game. Well, it is. But let's say every hit I did was 6% of your life. I would never have to hit you more than 17 times, right? Does that make sense? Doesn't matter if you're the biggest boss in the game. If I can take 6% of your overall health, right? And that's what the chance of this is. That's why Ignite is so big. And the 2 characters I know that can do Ignite are these guys and the Fangs. Other characters might get Ignite too, but these are the only 2 that I use on. All right, he's trying to put this over here, but now it's too late. This is going to get overwhelmed now because I've got the range and the damage. See, by the time he got his little buttons out, he was already dead. Or his little, I don't know what his little things are called, but yeah, we're just swarming from the outside with wasps now. Pretty much game over at that point. So. But yeah, if anybody's hanging out and wondering like, oh, what's this guy doing? Well, I'm just playing video games today. But if anybody needs any Linux talk or any of that kind of stuff, we've been kind of doing that around me playing on the video game. This is just kind of me chilling today. I wanted to be on, wanted to tell people about the group, let people know that there's stuff going on that's maybe fun for you, but also you could, hang out and just watch video games too. That's always fine. All right, what are we taking here? We'll take Supply Specialist just for fun. Because I don't play a whole bunch of Mustang. So, play Mustang. And the thing about Mustang and Crawlers is they're both fast. So, that's good against these guys because these are Stormcallers. But, I also want... possibly. What do I want? I don't necessarily want those guys. I want to unlock any of that stuff. Let's go with... do like tanks. So I do like sledgehammers. Maybe we'll put some sledgehammers out front. And we'll see how this goes. How this round goes. Oh man, those storm crawlers are feasted. It's not great. But once my guys can get up next to the storm crawlers, or the storm callers, then that's it for them. Excuse me. Alright, we'll lose this one, but it'll be close. We should lose this one. We'll see. Yeah. Ha! That was way closer than it should have been. Huh. Alright. Go with a sniper or marksman. Go with the Wraith in their back line. That's always kind of fun. Let's drop a Wraith back here. It's always kind of fun. Put one on the other side too. Let's just see what happens. Now these fangs will be able to hit it. Oh no, those are crawlers. Yeah, no, they can't hit it. Yeah, that's fine for now. That'll be fun. Also, to the point of the mobile beacon, if we've got the mobile beacon out right now, we can make some crawlers run around the front and just make these storm crawlers waste their shots. But we won't worry about that right now. That's good for now. Take more damage. Alright, let's see what they're doing. They're gonna start shooting up. My wraiths should be able to kill their guys and then move down. Ah, just my guys are bunching up right in the. I did not lay those out well for Stormcallers. Like the Stormcaller's first volley is just hitting all my dudes at once, and that's terrible. But now we win. Right there. That's gonna be game. Because now they can't do any damage, and then they got double EMPs are terrible. Then I don't know if Tawny, if you're still around, if you're, I was wondering if you're still training at all, if you've been getting in there. Yeah, we win. Yeah, wraiths are not quite an I win button, but they're more of an I win button than you wanna, than maybe people want to admit some of the time. All right, let's go. We'll do underground threat so we can get more of our guys in. And what we'll do with underground threat, let's put it right up front. So we're going to start those Stormcallers wasting their time very early. And we are going to then take Degen Beam. And we'll just make a new one of these guys up front too. There we go. All right. Let's see how this all goes. Yeah, they don't have much that can damage my wraiths, so this is going to be real bad for them. But their guys are successfully pulling my wraith away from where it was supposed to go. That was a good thing for them. Alright, what are we going to do? We could have defensive tactics, that's kind of a waste. Get more deployment slots if we want to put more guys on the ground, that could be good. Intensive training, let us level our guys up faster. We might take this one just for the lulz, just to see. See, those guys are getting about halfway there, so we're just going to level him up. Then we're just going to give them range for fun. And then maybe we'll take another one of these. That's fine. Again, the game's not really properly responding to me, so it doesn't really matter what I do. I'm just going to walk over the top of them. If it was doing better responses, this would matter, but it literally doesn't. Typically, if you play the game and get like higher MMR, you'll find players that'll respond to you a lot better than this. Because like as this is, I'm just going to keep walking over the top of them. I'll just take a bunch of wasps. Promoting this, we'll make them heal now. Make another one, yet another. Put them over here. Again, they haven't managed to kill one of them yet. So. They did get double shot on their marksman, but it's not going to help them because now I have way too many wasps around this chaff. Keeps the rounds from hitting the guys that matter. Chris, I do need testers. If you send me a message on Discord, I'll send you over the info to test, if you would. Just make sure you can get in. Make sure you can, you know, you don't get any weird things that like connect you to something that doesn't work or something. I built the Bastion process out again yesterday with a new user, and then in future versions of our course, I think we're just going to use that one. And then we'll probably just reference that one in all future versions. And then what it looks like as people get in is this. RC true. No, no, no. So now you get sent to this, and you might say, well, that looks kind of silly because it's going to each of these, but these are behind the hood or under the hood. What you don't see is you're either getting sent to the admin course or the security course, but these are changing right here based on if they're available. So there's a cron tab -L that's happening in the background, and then this playbook right here is what is that? Prologue. Tasks. What this thing is doing is it's checking for users, and then it's writing out this file. And the file is only writing in the ones that are actually active and don't have anybody else in them. So you're only getting to, right here, these are only there if the system is up and available. And we were testing this yesterday, and that's pretty accurate. But basically, you should be able to jump into any of those, and it'll always be... I mean, I guess there's some timing things. If people were jumping in there very quickly, that we understand will misbehave. But for the most part, you should be the only one in the ones that you connect to. And you won't know which one you're connecting to until you actually connect to it. That's what that all does. Let's do Giant Specialist. This one's fun. Giant Specialist is fun because in the first level, in the first round, I always just unlock the Overlord boat, right? Get the big old boat going. Let's see what he's got. He's got Stormcallers and Crawlers, so this is gonna be messy, but we'll see how we do. We're probably gonna lose the first round. Actually, we're definitely gonna lose the first round, but we'll see. Because he can put so much damage out to my screen, and my guys are so slow. But I'll win all subsequent rounds probably. Let's see. Oh, and he put snipers up too. So snipers are things that can hit air, so that's good for him. But let's see how we do. All right, they should mostly pass under the rockets. That's good. He's already taken out 2 whole units. It's a hassle. Yeah. I knew we were going to lose this one, but that's fine. Yeah, Chris, if you message me, I'll pull it up. Hold on. Let's wait till this round's over. We've lost. There we go. All right, let me pull it up real quick. Over here. I'm doing it off stream because, like, it's not polite to show private messages on stream, right? And then here is the connection info for the user, Chris. I'll send that directly to you. And then you can go play with it. Just make sure you can get in. Make sure there's nothing weird or no proclivities or any of those kind of things. All right. We are going to take free air units, and we're doing that because we are already pivoting to air right here. So let's take a boat, put a boat behind all this, and see how it goes. Also, just because I think we can, we are going to see if we can missile out these guys. If they move forward enough, we might be able to missile them out. Let's see. They roll up just a little more than... I think they're not going to roll in there. No, they stopped to shoot. All right. Well, that's fine. It's only $50. That's not a huge waste, but it's a good thing to start with. Also, he also took Phantoms, so that's interesting. That's less good because that's more things that can hit me in the air. We want less things that can hit me in the air. And then that rocket barrage didn't kill 2 of them, so that's a mess. Normally, yeah, that's a problem. All right, that's fine. Chicode over on YouTube. So what game is this? This is Mechabellum. We're playing Mechabellum. It's an auto battler. We just set up the game, and then everything else plays auto. We don't want... don't need any of those. We're going to skip that and take another Overlord. Boom. And put them over there. And then... gonna hold on to our money because next round we're gonna do something with our money to make this. We're gonna pivot this game around a little bit. We got 4 guys that can shoot up, and then 3 guys in the air. So we can change this game around a lot just by using by doing Mothership. So Mothership will change that part of the game to give us more air chaff, and then we'll start doing our damage for real. So a lot of times when you pull Overlord like I'm doing, you do lose the first few rounds when you're building it up, but then this starts to snowball and really be a problem. See, look, my guys are wasting their time on a fucking couple crawlers. What a waste of their time. Anyways, but if you can survive it, you can survive the onslaught to start, this can get really, really messy for them. Also, we could take supply enhancement. We could take efficient giant so that we would spend less money buying more and more giants. So actually, if I bought this right now, I could get 2 more of my... So we're going to get them. So we're not going to go Mothership this round, but we'll go next round. And then let's see. So one more round. We got to survive one more round. If we could do that, then we're going to start to snowball big time. And you'll see what I mean here in a second. Yeah, oh god, we didn't even kill all the crawlers with a barrage. That's so terrible. Alright, well, crawlers are kind of annoying right now, but we'll see if we can at least survive. So terrible. I'm barely able to kill crawlers. Oh, terrible. Shooting all their time at the damn crawlers. We might not even survive. I might not even survive. Okay, alright. Got it. Alright. Case module, sure. So now, need to make a motherships. We're going to get another one of them. You know what? Just for fun, I might start boating them right over here too. Just for fun. And take more damage. And we're definitely gonna do right as these guys come in, because those crawlers are super effing annoying. Those crawlers are just giving us massive problems. Oh, well, we end up hitting their phoenixes, which is still fine. Right. So this guy up here is gonna win the battle against those dudes, and then he's gonna come across their back line, just messing them up. All these things that are shooting up are really only hitting units that we don't care that much about, which are and then we get to their base right there for the EMP. Boom. Meaning that they do hardly any damage for about 5 seconds, and we'll win this one. For sure we've won this one. And then now it's going to start to snowball, so we won't lose another one. So. Yeah, I think Mechabellum used to be free. It might be like $10 now or $20 or something. It's not a prohibitively expensive game by any stretch. Oh yeah. Smack them down. Alright, now this is about to get real bad for him, because now I'm about to make these guys all stronger. So, oh, nano repair kit's even better. So now any little damage this guy does take immediately goes up. We'll take 2 more. Put one back over here. And just for fun, we'll put another one back over here. So now there's going to be the one live one and the one that's coming in. And we'll still hit these guys out because they were annoying. And we'll hit these guys out because they're also still annoying. There we go. Then I built one of these things, which is an Abyss. I don't really care in any way about that thing. I don't even know what it is. That's a new unit in the game for me. I haven't really played him much. But alright. So they won on the left side against that one, but again, we don't care too much. Alright, got his tower. Take out their Abyss. There you go. Whatever that thing was. And it's probably game right here. And so that one takes a bit to set up, and sometimes you almost lose. But yeah, smack them down at the end. It's not about how you start, it's how you finish, right? Alright. But let me put real quick. We'll play another round. But I'm gonna pull this up, and I don't know if there's anything going on in here. Let's see. More people hopping in. Oh. Also, it's funny, you get like this weird war of attrition in servers where we have a bot that welcomes people in, but it keeps welcoming the 4,000th person again. That's kind of funny. But hopefully, if we can get enough people that it doesn't keep churning, then it'll go. Oh, and then I don't know if Inspector's around, but Inspector, if you're around, just send me a message directly, and I'll send you over the info for that. But I'm gonna pull this up. What do we want to do? Let's do an aerial specialist. So we'll do an aerial specialist, and we'll pivot that same way again. But we'll have some different characters on the ground, which are kind of fun. So we'll do that. All right. But real quick before we do that, we pull this up. Here's our Discord. You guys are welcome to hang out in there. I think it's giving you guys some messages over here. Chris said you made several SSH connections, and it appears that if you connect quick enough, you can be in the same Rocky server as two separate connections, currently in Rocky 1.2. Yeah, Chris, I knew that was actually going to be a case because it only does it every minute. So I was kind of, for that, I was kind of appealing to, general, like hopefully no two people log in the same minute. But yeah, I did expect that. And also, I was thinking it would be safe if one user did it twice and went into the same one. I was like, that's fine. I thought about randomizing it, but then I was like, I'm not so concerned with randomizing it. But we could randomize it and call it as a different function and just always send people to a different one. But then we're back to our randomization again, which I was trying to avoid. So, no, that's perfect though, Chris. If you got in and you got several SSH connections and then only got one or two or a few to the same Rocky server, that should be fine. As long as users are just logging in during the week. What I've done in the system for people that care about the technical side of it, I'm going to go take a break here, but what we used to do is everybody could just go in from Rocky 1 to 19, but then people would pick 1 or 19 or whatever, and people would not use as many, and over the course of a week, we'd only have 1 or 2 being used at any given time. So what we're going to do is we're going to have Rocky 1 through 5, that's going to be our capacity for the admin course, and those ones will always be up. And then the MC Hammer servers down here, which way less people use these, the Hammer servers, we're going to have 1 through 5 as well. And then I'm going to be able to take away these other nodes after this course is all run through, and I'll be able to use these nodes for other things or use that additional capacity on my servers here, right? All this extra memory over here. We'll have about this much extra memory here to use whatever we want. So what is that? I don't know, almost 100 more gigs of RAM to do other stuff with. So I'll leave this up. But anyways, let me take a quick. Let me put a little hourglass up. Do a quick little break for you guys that haven't been around. Just take a break. Go walk around. Break. And take a walk. I'll take 10 minutes. I'll be back. You guys are, I don't know. You guys are in charge. Somebody's in charge. Chris is in charge. Yeah, I never realized until today how many, like how much churn we have of users in our system. Just have such a churn in our Discord where, you know, we go up 5, go down 5, go up 5, and then if you're right around 4,000 like we are, then it's just going to keep going above and below 4,000, and the bot doesn't have any memory. So the bot keeps welcoming the next person as 4,000, and it's just a mess. Just a hassle. So, all right, you guys are still on break. Feel free to take a break. Let's stop that. It's still break time, though. I'll keep playing my game, though, on break. What are we going to do? This. Oh, yeah, this should be more manageable. Let our slop get in there. And then we'll unlock an overlord. I wonder if these other guys are... we'll have to check. Alright, so they all attacked on the same left side, which is kind of like meta that a lot of humans do. Let's see how this goes. That's not good that that guy managed to lock on my dude directly. So, alright, we lose the first one pretty handily. We knew that was going to happen. Oh, really bad. My crawler's still good as tower, which is funny. My crawlers might get both of his towers. That would be even funnier. Probably not, though. Oh, well, we did. Those crawlers are definitely going to level, guys. But we lost. Alright. We're going to take laser sights. Drop this guy in. Give him laser sights. And then we are going to, just for fun, hit all of that right there with a missile. It's hilarious. Alright, take those guys out. Take that guy out, one volley. That's a good hit. All these guys will be just one volley. That's what we call getting boated right there. Killed his tower. That's always good. Alright. These all cost something, and the Fire Badgers are free, so screw it. We'll take Fire Badger. And also, if he's not going to defend his edge over here, we're just going to go put him over there and see. But really, I'm just playing this now for the Overlords. And just because it's funny, we're going to keep missiling that out. So funny. Alright, anyways, kill all that. Did we? Wow, they still got to my tower. That's super annoying. But they don't have anything that can shoot up, so like at this point they couldn't win even if they wanted to. You know? They literally can't kill my boats. They don't have any way to. So anything else is just like me cleaning them up. And they might kill my tower, but they can't kill my guys. Now, I say that, but they've got a couple of fangs, and that's super effing annoying because my guys are just going to miss their fangs over and over again and possibly get themselves killed, which is super annoying. Alright, there we go. Alright, we should wipe their boards now. Take a nano repair kit on... You know what? We could promote them or make them all motherships. We're going to make them motherships. And then we're going to put a nano repair kit on him. So even if he's taking a little damage from fangs, it won't ever actually take him out of the air. So... Now the mothership's just going to cause more problems for everybody because it's making more wasps. It's more chaff. If single target DPS can shoot up, then they just still only hit those wasps instead of my boats. So better strategy. Oh, I think is the writer's room today? Let me go check. I need to check on this real quick. Oh, they're killing my guys. Let's go check. I need to check if the writer's room is today. So, we do always have events during the weekend. Different people run different events. It doesn't look like they've got a writer's room this weekend, so maybe they're all done with it. Normally they were running the writer's room every Sunday. But there's a security thing on Thursday and Friday. So, okay, so I guess we're off for the rest of the week, but we're mostly just hanging out playing video games now. Wife's at church, so then when she gets back, we'll go hang out. We did Father's Day with one of my brothers earlier for breakfast. That was fun. We can make our guys move faster. Don't care about that. Better shields. Shields are good. Let's upgrade our units that are here. And let's make another one. 4 guys. This guy just literally gets killed over and over again, this dude right here. So we might just take him out of the... He's literally just targeted and destroyed right at the beginning of every battle, so we probably should just sell him. But I mean, it might be a moot point because we really just are going to wipe these guys and walk their base. Hyper, you said, for someone who has never done a web server Linux, do you think it would be bad to run a Windows one, or is Ubuntu user-friendly? If you're talking like a server, if you're doing like a server, so something out there that's designed to allow like connections to it, but is not necessarily for like a person to connect to and use as like a client, you know, and a desktop and stuff, I'm always going to be a fan of Linux for that. And the reason I say that is because Linux is the operating system that allows us to touch the hardware the most. We have the most control over the services on it and the software that's on it. So if you're and Hyper, just so you know, like my focus, the reason I go live is not necessarily, I'm never going to become like a super popular streamer or anything like that, but the reason I go live is to tell people that, you know, we've got a group that'll help you to get into doing this stuff professionally. To that end, could you run a Windows server and that kind of stuff? Probably, but then I can't really help you much. But if you say, hey, Scott, I'm going to set up a Linux server on some old hardware I have or something like that, then that's where, you know, our group can help, because we got a lot of people that do that as home labs. You got guys like me and some of the other guys who just, you know, have additional capacity to help with like showing you guys how to run that kind of stuff. We got a lot of groups in the Discord that show people how to do that stuff. And the goal, again, the focus is always to do it professionally. Not just as like a home labs are fun. Home labs are good, but they don't pay us any money. Most of us want to do this stuff and at least have, you know, a roof over our heads and something to eat, right? Like for ourselves and our families. So the goal of our group is to show you how to do this stuff professionally, if that makes sense. So yeah, if you choose Windows, I can't help you as much. If you want to do Linux, I think Linux is great. Could you use Ubuntu? Sure. I think Rocky is good. I think Alma is good. If you're looking for something free to put on a system and run a web server, you know, that kind of stuff is there, and definitely a capacity that you can use. We're gonna go this, because are we aerial or are we giant? We're aerial specialists. All right, not giant specialists. So we're gonna put him right here. We're going to, instead of promote these, we're gonna give them Overlord Artillery, which is a ground cannon, and we're gonna make another one of these guys. I'm gonna put them over here. So now they're going to be shooting the ground much more than just their normal stupid rockets. And let's see how this goes. This is just going to walk this. That's a shitty electromagnetic storm for me. But we should still be able to just dump these dudes. So. Oh, that's a funny question. What separates a Linux sysadmin engineer from a wizard graybeard? I do often joke around about how most people just think I'm casting spells. I guess, oh man, that guy hits really fucking hard. I think I just saw that, but he hit my guys really hard right there. But okay, yeah, so, I mean, a wizard graybeard. I do work with guys who I consider more of like that wizard graybeard stuff. I think a systems engineer or a Linux sysadmin should be in the modern era. 20 years ago, it was a wild, wild west. We could do whatever I wanted. I could do whatever I wanted. We could do whatever we wanted. Nobody knew what we did. But nowadays, like, there's a lot more accessibility to do this stuff. So I don't think you can be as much as, like, if you guys have ever heard of the backup operator from hell, where we used to just be able to do whatever we wanted and nobody could fire us because it was so hard to find Unix and Linux guys. That's more gone now. Like, I try to, like, get people to do this stuff in a professional manner. And what I mean by that is, like, if you were to look at our course, which the guys did this awesome job of setting up the course, right? The course book. And where's the book? The books are free, by the way. Where do we have that? Oh, I must have closed it down. Hold on. LAC. So this is like the Linux Administrator's course, right? And we go to Unit 1 or whatever. And it's about command line and VI Vim and some of these things that you need. But then as you get into like what we're actually doing, right? We're talking about how this works with the business, right? Like how this helps you to do these things. And let's get in a little further in the sysadmin stuff. We get into, you do a bit of a self-assessment on how well you know this stuff and how well you would like to know it. And then we get into a little bit about finding jobs and finding the skills that we want. And then I think I have it here where it's like, oh, these are all labs. These are all files and labs and stuff. But anyways, the point is, a lot of the stuff that we do in the courses are more around getting you guys ready to interact with the businesses, as opposed to just being somebody who's like sitting back and casting spells and stuff. So yeah, like the wizard graybeard time is kind of gone for us, where we could just like do whatever we wanted and nobody could fire us and nobody knew. Nowadays, I think a lot more people understand what we do. And I don't want to say that we're not as important. We are still as important to the business. It's just we do have to like go in the meetings and we do have to like shower and brush our teeth and stuff that sysadmins didn't do 20 years ago, you know? Think of it as the IT crowd. If any of you guys ever watched the IT crowd, and the server guy comes out of the back, and like you're like, how long have you been in there? And he's been in there for like years and he hasn't like seen the sun or anything. That era is kind of gone for us. We do have to interact. We do have to, like, 10 years ago, I wouldn't have told a single one of you to ever give a shit about Git. I'd have been like, Git, SVN, that's software engineer bullshit. We're down here in the trenches building our scripts and making our stuff work, right? But nowadays, it's so important for you to be able to build your automation and push it up into like a Git pipeline and run it through Ansible automation platform or Tower or whatever your tooling is. Like, we have to like interact way more than we used to. So I tell people it's very gone, those days of us just, wild, wild west doing whatever we wanted, which I think is kind of the way that like most older people liked it. Like, oh, I just do whatever I want all day, and somebody tries to use my Linux and I call them stupid and tell them to get out of the office because they're a terrible engineer. But it's like, well, really, you're just, this one thing a little bit, and that's not really engineering, So anyways, I think there's a little bit more to it now. I guess maybe we're trying to be more professional because that's kind of where the industry has pushed us, because it is a lot more accessible to get into Linux nowadays than it ever was. So graybeard would be somebody that hacks. Sure. I mean, if that's your takeaway, sure. Yeah. I think engineering in general is hacking. If you guys have ever seen my model of like what engineering is, it's just planning and documentation around hacking. But that being said, yeah, I mean, you gotta make the stuff work. All right, am I gonna get all these guys? This is gonna be close. All right, we'll get one of their towers. They'll get one of ours. Oh, I win. It's only because my guy got their guy. If my sniper hadn't gotten theirs or my marksman hadn't gotten theirs, I wouldn't have won that. All right. We do wasp swarm. That's a good attack. We do mass produce sledge, which will just let me dump a lot of sledges, which are tanks on the battlefield. We'll probably go with that, and then we can just start mass producing these guys. And because we're mass producing them, we can give them more hit points and healing. And then we can also say, make this guy go further. And we can make a new one of those guys as well. Alright. That's a pretty good run for round 2. We won the first round, but just barely. But we should clear the second one a little easier now. Schizophrenic, I did unfortunately go to Windows 11. I'm not super happy with it. I often wish that there were better solutions for desktops for Linux, but as there are not, I don't often run that. So yeah, Schizophrenic, I'm on it, but I've had at least 4 crashes in the last month. Let's put some wasps up in the air just to mess with these guys. Pop OS? I have not played with Pop OS. What is that? We'll download it. Not super fast because of the fact that I'm streaming and other things, but let's see. We'll throw Pop OS up in my lab. We'll build a box out while we're sitting here playing games. I'm okay with that. All right, what are we doing here? We have all kinds of money still. So let's go with do 2 more of these guys. Give them a little more spacing out. And we're going to make them shoot further. Range enhancement. Always good. And we'll come over here and we will do more damage. Alright. Let's see how we do. He's going to turn and shoot, but he's shooting at wasps, so he's going to waste quite a bit of his time before he gets killed by them. And then they'll be much faster next round, so less of them will die to him. And oh, they're going invisible. Oh, that's annoying. Got some kind of stealth something. Actually, I have Pop OS on a mid-2010 MacBook Pro with 4 gigs of RAM. Nice. Nice. Let me look. Yeah, Chris, I can see that. Yeah, if you guys are working down to the last little bit of it. Yeah, that makes sense. We don't need any of these, although redeployment is a good. We don't need it right now. Let's go with. Can upgrade these, and we will give the tanks all range, and then we'll do another sniper. Just kind of load out the whole thing. All right. So now on the left, they're all gonna die. We'll get in on their base again. Yep. Yeah, base is wiped. Yep. Too easy. Cosmic 7's an alpha, okay. We'll go play with the desktop and the console. I'm okay with that. Just for fun. Did we kill him? We won. All right. We will reward ourselves with going and doing this real quick. So we go to downloads, and we got this download coming down. Is that done? Yeah, that's done. We're going to copy this, right? We're actually going to cut it, and we're going to go down into my ISOs, which is a connection over to my Linux environment. And I'm going to drop this in right here under ISOs. Where is it? Pop in there? Did not happen. All right, right click. What's going on here? Go back to downloads. That's slow. Again, super effing slow. All kinds of problems here. All right, ISOs. This is a Samba share. Right click. Paste. So we've cut it. We're pasting it. Jump over here. Okay. See, there's a Pop! OS right there. Cool. We're gonna write over it. Cancel. All right. Pop! OS. It's there. It's got its right size. Should be good. We could do a SHA-256 sum against whatever we saw on the site, but that's fine. Let's go over here. We can turn off some of my hammer boxes that we're not using, but also this system's got additional capacity. So all we're going to do is say new VM. We're just going to make a new virtual machine. And we won't worry about the template. The template's not really going to matter that much about it. So we'll just say that the template is... it literally doesn't, the template doesn't even matter. We'll call it Oracle 8 Linux. It doesn't matter. Next. We're going to call this pop test. And then our ISO, which is coming from the NFS ISO library, is the Pop! OS box. Right, so we'll go boom. We're going to place it on this server. We got 17 gigs of RAM free. Cool. We're going to give him, well, let's give him 4 CPUs. And we'll give him 8 gigs of RAM. Right, and that's fine. 4 and 8 should be fine for a desktop, guys, for pretty much anything. We're going to give him, I never give 10 gigs. I always give something like 40. You'll find a little more freedom with your system if you do that. Network, we'll go ahead and let him have, instead of a lab internal, he can get the, what's the default? Hold on, I got to go look. For any of these other boxes. Go like streamers. Go see what their networking is. They're on network 0. Ah, okay. Okay, he can have network 0. That's fine. If we want to put him on lab internal and let this box talk to our werewolf boxes, we can do that as well. Oh, well, that was terrible. Here is our... That was exactly not what I wanted to do, guys. Call it Oracle 8. That's fine. Boom. Pop. Call pop test. Give him that Pop! OS disk. Boom. Boom. We'll give him that same 8. Sorry, 4. And 8. And we'll give him 40 gigs. Boom. Done. Networking's perfect. Create them. We'll let them start up. We'll build this box real quick. Desktop. Oh, yeah, smooth it out. Yeah. Well, we're going to be looking at through the console anyways. We could directly connect to it if we wanted to over any of the RDP type protocols that they use, which tends to be something like VNC or something. But we should be fine. Yeah, let's see. I mean, we'll see what it looks like. It'll be through a console, so it won't be perfect. But we'll go get in this pop test box, see how he boots, see that stuff. So you guys wanted to see? I've never played with pop tests, so. Oh, well, that's what. When did I do Rocky 8? I thought I did Pop. I apologize, guys. We got to reboot him. Reboot. Force reboot. Put the wrong ISO on him. You play Mechabellum on Pop OS? Nice. Let's reboot this guy. Let him come up with the Pop OS in the background. And then we'll go over here and we'll play some video games while we're waiting. We've beaten the bots. I don't think I've lost to the bot yet. I do lose to a bot sometimes. Not very often, but it just depends what we're doing. Alright. We can get Marksman for free on round 2. I do like this build out. Marksman Specialist would be all we'd get on that. Cost Control would give us a whole bunch of extra money. But the build is okay to start. I do like Stormcallers. They're kind of fun. We'll go Marksman. I've been playing a lot of Marksman today. And I do like Tarantulas because they're just a funny unit. They have a lot of versatility if you build them. And the way I have them, I can give them air specialty. So if the enemy goes heavy air, I can actually just hit them with the frickin' just all Tarantula air. And that's kind of funny to me. Alright, let's go with this. And this. That'll be fine. And this. And this. So it's our chap up front. And our guys back here to just punish any single unit. Oh, this ought to be close. They got these guys. Well, so arc lights change this up a little bit, but not too much, I don't think. I think we should still. This should be pretty close still. Pretty close for an intro. Yeah, they got us. They win this one. Those guys will just walk my marksman. Alright. Intensive training or laser sights? I think I'm gonna go laser sights just because we got this guy. We're gonna put him over here. We're gonna give him the laser sights. And then we're gonna put another 2 of these right in the middle here. Alright. Before we do this round though. Let's go to where the hell's my XCPNG? Ah, he's starting up. So Pop OS is starting on this guy. Let's see how my system responds here. Now this is just a console we're gonna have, so it's not gonna be some perfect channel with it. But once we get it set up, we could just VNC in, or I could even give people access to this Pop OS from Apache Guacamole, which is a way that people don't normally connect to our home lab, but they can, right? Users that have been in our group for a bit have access to that kind of stuff. Oh, also I realized that you guys can't see my bottom right screen there, so you guys can't even see when I've been like unlocking units and stuff. That's funny. Oh well, it doesn't matter. We're just messing around today, hanging out, doing a little bit of Linux, doing a little bit of mostly gaming and talking about the group. We're just finishing up the security engineering course, and the Linux admin course is in week 11 right now. We'll be going to week 16, and then we'll probably be waiting a little bit and then starting over with both of those courses. I'm also going to be running a automation course. I don't know how we're going to do the auto course. The automation course might just be, I don't know. I almost feel like it could just be like a correspondence course. I don't even know if we'll probably meet for it, but I don't know how much we need that. And then we'll definitely still meet for it, but I just want to give you guys the how you're going to automate these different things. Like all the things we do, you just need to get into automation, right? Like all the things that we did in the admin course, all the things that we did in the security course, all you need to do is figure out how to do it more efficiently and as a, I guess you would say as like a professional, yeah, right? Just automate the crap out of everything. All right, Pop OS coming up. Where's he at? He's got plenty of horsepower. Let's see what's going on with him. AMD 64, Intel 54. Oh, look at that. Looks like a Pop OS. All right. is there. Activation network connection, that's fine. Let's see if we can figure out what's going on with that. Connection. Okay, okay. That's responsive. I like that. Let's see if we can get in here. Ethernet 1. Let's see what his settings are. Oh, wait. We'll wait for him if he's being slow. Probably my hardware. Let's go look at his networks here real quick. Network 1. Active, yes. IP address unknown. Lab internal. So he should have a network. So settings of his network here. He sees a router. He's got an IP address out there. Okay. Okay. Technically, for now, this guy shouldn't have one. Ah, he did get one. That's okay, though. It's okay. We'll turn this one off for now. We just want this one. But he did find both of them. The Microsoft activation code. Okay. So we've got this. Let's see. Ah, so now it's going to try to install it, which is perfect. Let's let this guy have an install. Let's see what happens here. He was probably trying to go over both of the networks, so that's good. Default, default, default. Perfect. So clean install, custom. Let's see what the clean install wants to do. And we are doing everything from fresh because it's a brand new virtual machine, so we can go with that. And then we can go there. Block device, 40 gigs. It's always funny when you do this because watch what will happen. It'll say, hey, are you sure you want to wipe this? And it's like, dude, it was empty when we started this, so there's nothing in there. Full name and username, let's say Scott. And then Scott. Yeah, that's fine. This will be used for your home folder, sure. And then some password for my user. Sure, that'll just be our lab password for now. That'll be nice and short. Do we want to encrypt and give drive encryption? Sure, let's do that. Let's see how well that works. Now this is going to carve up our drive for us. Partitioning. Partitioning is probably pretty quick. I didn't see it tell us, so this is one of the things I tell you guys sometimes when you want to balance between making something user friendly or making something like engineer friendly. Well, it gave me no options there. When I did the base install, it gave me no options to even look at what the disk partitions are. Because guess what? Your mom or your grandma does not give a shit about that. They just want their system to work, right? So when they're trying to make an operating system disk accessible or some new operating system, like in this case Pop! OS, they probably want to have, you know, they probably want it to just be like, hey, we're just going to put it on that 40 gigs that you gave us. We're not really too worried about that other stuff. So, I don't know what this guy's talking about, so I'm just going to go ahead and hide him. Because I got better stuff to do. Pop! OS, yeah. So you guys said 24 is coming out? It's probably a little bit behind whatever Ubuntu is. Because Ubuntu just popped their 24 out as well. Or I think they've had it out for a while, but they just rolled to it on Killer Coded too, so there's that. Alright. While that's installing, I'll go back to my game a little bit. Where were we at here? We were about to run this next round. Let's go run round 2 and see how we do. We lost round 1, but it was close, as it always is. And that guy moved up one of his arc lights and dead. So arc light chews up my fodder and then immediately dies to my sniper. This sniper should wreck that thing. Yeah, hard hits. And then all we gotta do is try to... We're gonna lose the left side. It'll be close. Real close on the left side. But we lose the left side for sure. Alright. That wasn't a bad loss. Ah, they always give you that choice of whenever you get a choice for a melting point, you almost just gotta take it. I'll let that guy lock on my melting point before he locks on those dudes. And I will even give. We're gonna take 2 more of these guys back here. Boom. And boom. We're gonna do something else with those melting points here in a little bit, but let's get these guys out and there we go. Good start. Ah, they let some guys go up in the air. Oh, that'll be interesting. So they've got some airborne units, but now that's not so big a deal because we do have snipers and also a melting point that can shoot up. So we do have the ability to hit them. Gonna melt those guys out. Yeah. Pretty good. Ah, he's got this skill. If you see the little things coming behind his flying units, that skill is his guys are able to, they can kind of come back to life a few times. They can do it 2 times each per round, or my guys would shoot over there. Jeez. They can also kill him. Or if we kill all their guys off, it won't happen anymore. So that's kind of a good thing to. Oh, jeez. That was super annoying because that was too close. All right, let's go with. This is too many good things. Enhancement module will make something better, and also it will no longer have to spend any money. So this is free right here, because look, this was going to be 250, or sorry, it was going to be 200 to promote him, but now it's free to promote him. So that was like basically just a push right there. We're going to give this guy some crawlers, but first we're going to give him some range. And then we're going to do something else over here. We're going to give these guys the ability to make more of those little spider mines. And then we're going to put another marksman on the board for now. So we have that. Whoops. Right there. All right. Be able to mark all these dudes. Yep, get rid of their tanks. Perfect. We still might lose on the left side. We definitely got the right. Yeah, we're losing on the left, of course. But yep, take out that guy. Not terrible. The fact that their phoenixes just get to keep coming back is kind of annoying, but we survived, so that's really good. Our melting point is going to get another level up for free. Again, free is the best price for that. We'll take this guy, screw it. Alright. So here, he gets a free level up. He is going to very quickly become a raid boss. Nothing's going to be able to kill him. In fact, I've had these guys where they have over 600,000 hit points, and you know most things hit for like what was this guy hit for? Like 4,000 something. This guy, like, they don't hit for nothing. So let's up these guys' ability to see and that. And then can he also take, we're going to give him the ability to make these little crawlers that are going to start to kind of protect him. So that'll be good too. Oh no, that's no good. So he's going to blast an ion cannon. So if my guy doesn't move, he's going to get melted. That's terrible. But hopefully he'll get another level up before then. It's possible. It's unlikely, but it's possible. Oh, it's going to be about too much damage here. That's unfortunate. Alright. Not the worst thing that's ever happened to us. Alright, got us. 24 is tied to their desktop environment Cosmic, which is an alpha, but you can get it now. Interesting. Alright. By the way, we're gonna go back and look at this here. Hold on. How is this go? Oh, by the way, it probably rebooted. All right. Continue setting up or shut down. Just be restart the device, right? I imagine. And we should probably eject this. I didn't see if it was done, but oh, I didn't have to eject that. I probably should have left that in there, but that's fine. This will reboot. If it was rebooting, it doesn't really matter that much. Let's reboot it. It's fine. Let's see if it comes up. Yeah, I don't know. You know, we're just hanging out. I don't know why people want to. Well, I mean, I know why people want to do it, but it's not necessarily something I want to deal with on a Sunday. People just popping in here and giving me a hard time about something unrelated to this. Doesn't make any sense to me. I would think we'd all have something better to do on a Sunday, especially Father's Day, right? Like, don't we all have something better to do than sit around and go find strangers on the internet to argue with? Go find somebody else like that wants to do that. We had somebody over on YouTube talking shit, so now he's hidden forever. Yeah. We'll see. Let's see how this pops up. Normally VMs come up pretty quick, but yeah, maybe this one's doing a lot of work. A lot of work under the hood. A lot of extra stuff going on over here. I'm not used to the servers taking... I mean, this isn't like brand new hardware or anything, but it normally doesn't take too long to boot. Especially as everything's happening in memory. Oh, alright, let's see. Let's see what our OS here looks like. I wonder if I killed that when I shouldn't have. I wouldn't think that would be that big of a deal, though. Seemed like it was all done installing, so. But maybe not. Maybe we gotta rebuild the pop test. It's very possible. Even doing anything? Just sitting there. So I should be able to send. I can send any messages in, I believe, to the console. Where's that at? Definitely does not look like it's coming up to a full. Let's reboot them again. Let's add the Pop OS back in there. Let's give him a full install. Maybe there's something wrong with his install. I don't know. What are we doing here? Let's go look. We can upgrade all these guys. Oh, we got to pick this first. I don't want none of this stuff. Upgrade all these guys. Let's give these guys flight. And let's go ahead and make another 2 Melty Boys. And the Melty Boys will come over here. And let's put 1 just in case they drop an acid on everybody. Let's do that. Nope, they didn't drop acid. Good. Do that just for now. Now, melting points single target damage is the best in the game, but if they're hitting a lot of little chaff units, they're terrible. Like, so all that time when they change to different units, that's always terrible. When they lock on one big thing, they're the best damage in the game. So there's a trade-off there on this. Okay. Yeah, we just walked them. Wasn't too bad. This is gonna scale out of control for them because you can't keep up with 3 melting points. Which is about to be more melting points. They do too much damage. And this one is free. The economy of this is this guy doesn't cost me anything to upgrade. So now he's got 148,000 hit points, and he doesn't cost me anything to upgrade. And then we're gonna give them all absorption, so when they hit enemies, they're gonna give themselves life back, and then we're gonna make more of them. And we'll make some of these little flying guys in the background too. These little void eyes that are just flying around. We'll upgrade all the other stuff too. Pop OS. Oh, they told me Pop OS, so I was messing with it. Hold on, let me. Oh, we got to watch the battle, and then we can go. Okay, so they're hitting me with an electrical storm, so that's annoying. But let's see if they can actually hit any of my units and do any real damage. Nah, that's not too bad. Remember, my melting points as they lock on things heal themselves, so that's going to be more problematic for them. Oh yeah, this is going to be a wipe right here. They can't even move his life bar down. The raid boss on the right. Oh, yeah, they can't even move his life bar. That's gonna be game right there. Yeah. Yep. Oh, he's not dead. All right. Yeah, we'll take a Raiden. Raidens are pretty funny because they just electrocute the crap out of everything, and that's pretty funny. So now this guy doesn't cost anything to upgrade again. This dude, because he's free, and we can do 2 more of them just for fun, just because it's funny. And then these guys can also be given more damage. We'll just give them more damage, and then shoot, we'll just promote some things for fun. So it literally doesn't matter to us. This is just going to be a wipe. I mean, look, that guy got hit for. This is terrible. Now, all my melting points are a problem for him, but this one right here in particular is a raid boss. He's got 278,000 hit points. And, like, nothing on that board is going to do that much damage. Like, even this thing's going to hit him for nothing. Yeah. That thing probably hit him for about 30,000, which would kill most any one unit. Scorpion with double shot acid and everything can double tech, really own melting points. Yeah. Yeah. That's why, yeah, you got to have good ability to, like, chaff them out and make them point at other things. Yeah, all these really high damage. There's some interesting things. Yeah, the Scorpions got introduced. I hadn't played it for a while when Scorpions came in, and I've played them a few times. But yeah, if you give the Scorpions a lot of damage, they can definitely mess things up. So, all right, let's go. Let's let that go. We'll pick somebody here in a second, but let's go look at this. Did this ever install? Ah, we gotta unlock the disk. So what is my password? Ah, that's probably what it was we were coming up. So crypt setup, crypt data. Let's see if we can get this box on a working little Pop OS thing. Yeah, I don't, like, guys, most of you guys will know, like, I don't really care. I mean, Linux desktop is one of these things that's just, it's not getting picked up by the industry. It hasn't been the whole time I've done it. I know a few companies that run, like, a few niche engineers run stuff with certain types of operating systems, but it's not as much as you would think, I think, like, more people would be like, oh, hey, let's go get this working, but nope. All right, let's see what this looks like. see what our desktop here looks like. This system should have, let's go look at our networks too. We should have in here a fair amount of, we can pop them out too. Also, we can connect to them over Apache Guacamole if we wanted. We can go see. I don't care about none of that stuff. Let's get in the terminal. You guys will find I do most everything as a terminal. They are using Grub. They're using an old version of Grub too. This is where most stuff nowadays is set. Most of the time you go and change things in your Grub in here and then it goes and it writes back. Yeah. So let's see, can I become root? I don't know if I gave myself those permissions. I do. Okay. Again, anytime I get on a new system, it's Ubuntu Debian under the hood. So this is going to look a lot like what we're familiar with in Ubuntu, right? I don't need ETH0 up because this interface isn't going to help me any. So let's see. So they're not using NetPlan. We should be able to come up here and turn off ETH0. Yeah. Because ETH0, so that's the separate VPN, or separate VLAN, and then you have to go out through cRouter, and it's just that would be more than. Let's see what kind of So it's using it's using all that stuff under the hood, the same type of stuff that Ubuntu would be using, right? So it's using all those, and then it's fine. I don't care. All right, so there's not that many. Let's see what's upgradable. So. System D, all that stuff. Anything failed? Network Manager failed coming up. That's interesting. Probably because it's desktop stuff. And then let's go out of here, close the terminal, because you guys want me to practice playing around inside of desktops, I guess. No dock to the edges. Dock doesn't extend. I don't know. Probably. Workspaces bar, applications. I always want to get to a terminal. I don't even, again, I've told you guys, and some of you guys probably think I'm kidding, but I literally just do stuff at the command line all day. So I don't, I know everybody always wants me doing stuff with desktops and desktop Linux, but it doesn't, gestures for navigate. No. I don't want any of that crap. We'll just keep it in dark mode for now, because people prefer that. Don't want that kind of crap. Time zone is over here in Phoenix. Perfect. The time's right. Connect to my online account. Oh, look, I even can do Foursquare. I don't have Foursquare. I have, I guess, Google and Microsoft with the college and look at all that stuff you could do. Skip it. Start using it. Go play around in this OS for a little bit. Say Hyperland. I know I'm a madman, guys, but like I've done my whole career of Linux inside of like a PuTTY terminal. So like PuTTY and Screen or Tmux or whatever the situation calls for, I'll use. But I don't do a whole lot of clicking around. But I am curious. What are the apps? What do we got? Very basic. Oh, there's a little thing called the Pop Shop. What the hell is this? Can I buy Pop OS gear? Buy audio? I can get some games. I can get my graphics. Ooh, science, math, and engineering. That might be fun. So is this like apps that go right on my desktop, guys? I don't know. Icons are way too big. You got to remember, we're also connecting over a console via XCPNG. So this is very similar to us like going in the data center and consoling into the box, right? So I could pop this out, We can go full screen with this. Oh, look at that. That's terrible. I should be able to go. Whatever. Um, let's see. I'm curious what this is going to look like because we did turn off. And yeah, we should be good. If this can get out, it should be able to. Oh, look at this. Little timers and fun stuff. And any of this crap is awesome. Calculator. Multifunctional instruments. Nice. I wonder what other good things they got going on in here. Fable Maker. What is that? Hack Aesop's Fables? That might be fun. Ferret visualization. Weather data analysis and visualization. Alright, gotta give him a password. Curious. Oh, Ewo. Yeah. I definitely, we were talking about this. Once I get this set up, we could either be using something like Apache Guacamole to get in there, or just some kind of what is that, VNC or something viewer. Yeah. I could definitely do that instead of just a console like this. We literally just downloaded this and dropped it we just put this CD in the box right here, and built the box. Right, the VM didn't exist, and then we turned it on, and now we're playing with it. So there's 3D models. There's Fractive. Oh, Mandelbot. Good old Mandelbot, always working in his garden, right? See all kinds of stuff going on. And then, hopefully, that app is just downloading, right? Look at this. We went in GTK Plus equation grapher, so guys that want to graph some math equations but don't want to use Matplot, or don't want to use, what's the standard? Octave, or, why can I not think of that damn... I can see it in my head. It's the one everybody uses. It's the big university one. Not Matplotlib. Literally can't think. What the hell? I can't think of it. Octave is the open source version of it, right here. Octave. But what's the? Oh, it's gonna bug me. It's like 5 letters, 6 letters. I can't think of its name. Oh gosh. I've been messing around too much today. Is that one everybody uses? KTurtle. Education programming. Nice. LabPlot. Mass spectrometer type stuff. That's gonna bug me. I can't think of the name of that software. Hold on. Where is it? Here was this downloading Pop! OS. What is the damn... MATLAB. That's what it is. I was thinking Matplotlib, but MATLAB. Yeah, MATLAB's the one everybody uses. All right. Anyways, yeah. Look at all this stuff we could play with. Pair interaction. All right. So those are all apps that we could download and use, right? I don't have a GPU on these boxes, unfortunately. No, this box doesn't have. So when we get the what's it called? The digit system, which are still on back order, it looks like. When we get the digits, we could definitely play with some of that stuff in here. Oh, what is going on? I don't want the activation of a network connection. We only want the one. My network should be fine. I don't know why that thing keeps trying. Oh, we don't need these ones. That's probably what the problem is. All right, get out of here. We only need the one. The other ones don't really matter. System, universal access, writing and language, video. What's going on in video? We got video editing stuff we could do in here. I'm just surprised this box is box just really seems like it's on the struggle bus, and I'm curious where the struggle bus is coming. CPU's not doing much. Network's not doing much. CPU's okay, I guess, but not really doing much. Put a flash player on it, that'd be funny. Okay. Videos. I don't know what a Danmu player is. Kodi, I know what Kodi is. KODI, that's a pretty fun little tool. Alright. FileBot. Alright, interesting. Let's supply specialist. See how we can do with a supply specialist. And just for fun, since he doesn't have anything that can shoot up, we're gonna see if we can do something funny to him. For the first round, we're going to drop a wasp on him. Wasps can come in. Oh, actually, you know what? We can have wasps come in from the side over here. This guy can come in from the back. All right. If he doesn't buy anything that can shoot up, yep, I automatically win this round. Hayes, you dedicated your encoder to all your fans out there? Nice. How's it going, Hayes? We're just working on, we were talking a little bit earlier about the Professional Linux users group, and then I've just been kind of hanging out. We built out Pop! OS for fun just to see what that's what we were looking at right there. Not really too much going on inside of Pop! OS that we were doing, but just to look at, people were saying do all the Linux, so we did a little more of the Linux. And then we're not, again, too focused on any one project for today, although I did get the update. I did a little bit of updates on the system. What was it called? The Bastion, how people log into the lab. We did that, and then we did a little bit around, what are some other things we worked on? We did, I finished up the recording yesterday for the Unit 10 of the security engineering course. So yeah, we've been doing a lot of stuff. Hyperlands, because all Linux does use terminal, and he said to be really enjoying Hyperland. Oh, well, I do like, I'm a big fan of Linus Torvalds. I think the guy's definitely changed engineering, right? So I'm curious to see what Hyperlands is now. Let's go see here. What is Hyperlands? I'm just curious. Great system, but let's say it's interpersonal. LinuxCast is running Hyperland. Is that an Arch Linux term? So most of you guys know I've built Arch Linux, but just messing around. So I don't even know what Hyperland is. Wayland compositor. Okay. Dependencies. Doesn't tell us much. Yeah. I don't know much about it at all. Yeah, I did Hyperland, Linus Torvalds. Only Hyperland? What is this? Xorg. Oh, look at all this. So we could put, in the lab, we could put one of these on our systems that people log into. 24, we do have 24 up, so that's fine. We can go with that. All right. So what is this thing doing? Hyperland, can tell it to use that. Got a bunch of variables, that's fine. Oh wow. People really get in there deep. There's a lot of stuff you can do with this, it looks like. How much is it doing with yeah, the open source drivers, we actually have to use these sometimes in government systems because the paid for government driver or the paid for drivers for NVIDIA don't always work. So sometimes we have to go to the no view drivers, and then there's a kernel argument you have to give for that to run. There's proprietary drivers with NVIDIA, but we stay away from that, DKMS, which DKMS stands for something, but I always forget what it is. But yeah, we end up sometimes just having to use the Novo or Val, however you say that. I'm kind of interested to see what this looks like. Bunch of apps. Well, I mean, NVIDIA still builds the best GPUs, right? They're still, you know, the most, the closest, and the most in, yeah, closest to memory. Interesting. I'm very curious what people are doing with this. Like, I mean, it seems like it's a thing, and it seems like it can do some stuff. But what are people doing with it? Ah. Interesting. Oh, that's a lot of info. This looks like a B top over here of some type. And this looks like a regular top over here of some type. It's like a regular top and a B top. Although I'm sure there's some customization to that. But still. Looks like they've just got their... I don't even know what terminal that is, but that's interesting. Any reason aside from brand recognition to go partnerships, not to go AMD at that point? I think a lot of times, so for me, especially the types of implementations I do, I'm rarely on the architecture. Like a lot of times I get dropped in on things after architecture's already been picked. So for me, a lot of the stuff I do is just implementing the Linux on top of whatever's there, doing it within the clustered parameters of like Werewolf or whatever naming, whatever cluster management tool we need, whatever type of job schedulers we need, whatever type of storage we need to connect to. And then a lot of times I'll stand that all up. I'll test the speed of the individual system nodes. And then we have guys that specialize on my team that are better than me at this stuff. And they run the Lin packs and stuff across all the systems. So for me, a lot of times I'm doing individual node tests for speed and connecting out to storage for speed and that kind of stuff. But they do it in like an aggregate, if that makes sense. So a lot of times, where I'm going with that is I don't make the decision a lot of times. I'll just get dropped in on a system that's already built, already designed. And then I'm just the guy that's putting on the OS and making sure that everything's working. Drivers for me are a lot of times are what I can get working, and then from either previous versions of things I've gotten working or from vendor docs or whatever. So I don't dig heavily into what the NVIDIA stuff's doing and what the different like I'm not the programmer that's doing the speed tests. That's we have other guys that do that for my stuff. I'm the guy that does all the low level, get the system up and running. As long as I can do, there's a tool called NVIDIA-SMI. As long as I can do an NVIDIA SMI and touch my GPUs, I'm good, typically on my side. So when I'm building my stuff and I'm building all my drivers and making sure that everything's connecting and coming up on my boxes, my thing is make sure NVIDIA SMI is working, and then I pass it off to the guys further up. If they then have problems, then I start digging into drivers and kernels and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes you got to build the kernel support directly in, and that can be a hassle. But that's interesting. All right, where are we at here? Hold on. I am. Did we win the first one? We did win the first one, and he's probably the game's probably going to respond to those wasps. The game's pretty good at responding to wasps. But now I got to pick what I'm doing next. So let's do. Where are we at? Oh, we got to pick one of these things. Let's take these Phantom Rays, whatever. Don't care. Put them over here. And we're going to take two of these guys, and we're going to put one in this corner. And, whoops, and one in this corner. Because, again, if he doesn't respond to these, I just walk his base. So that side will be responded to. This side will walk to his unit. That's fine. When the guys zone in, sometimes they lose right away, like what happened over there. But they'll do better next round, because they'll all be alive. Alright, there we go. Take intensive training. And we'll take more of these guys. We'll try to snowball this side. And we will give them a level up. And for fun, we'll give them another level up. And there we go. Let's see what happens. Alright. Right side's doing a lot better since they came on alive, but they're still going to get wiped before they get to his base, before they get to his tower. But maybe there's a chance, as long as we kill the tower. Yep, there's a chance. Alright. Now we'll get to the tower there too. That'll be a double tower hit. Pretty terrible for them. Spectre said, what are the changes to the new lab Bastion interface? Oh, let me send you that. Hold on real quick. I gotta send that to you. Did you send me a message on Discord? If you send me a message on Discord, I can, hold on. I got it saved. Where's Inspector? I don't think you messaged me in a while, Inspector. So all I changed was yeah, I'll show you what I changed for people that were here earlier. So oops, in here we have this bastion.sh, and this builds out the bastion based on what's there. And then, no, but I was wondering if you'd sent me a message. But over here, this just generates the new bastion, and then the new user is Prolug. So yeah, I didn't know if you DM'd me, because I was just sending people the messages in DM. And then if you go to var prolog ch root bin bastion. Yeah. In here, this is so this gets generated in here based on what's available. So this is not going to be the same. If I were to like watch cat of that, and then I were to go and turn off, like while we were sitting here, if I just came over here and went, okay, Pop! OS was fun, but let's go to like Hammer 3, and I just reboot Hammer 3. While he's rebooting, we're going to see Hammer 3 go away right here. While that node's rebooting and down, within a minute, that's going to go down. That's going to go away right there. The Hammer 3, because Ansible's going to go check. Ansible's going to see he's not up. He's going to regenerate that, and then that will no longer be. Hammer 3's gone right there. See. So now all you do is say you want to go the admin course or the security course, and you just get sent to whatever the next open server is in the environment. There are ways around it. I mean, if somebody connected really fast, but that's not so big to us, because this is more about amount of capacity rather than like, this isn't necessarily security or that kind of thing. This was just me trying to give more users the ability to do other things inside of our system without us like limiting it down so much. That's kind of where this was. So that he's booting over there on the right. When he comes back up and we can get in there, then Hammer 3 is going to pop back up over here on the left. So you'll see Hammer 1, 2, 3, and 4. And that's kind of how I have it. Now you might say, wait a minute, Scott, because of the way that this is working, you would never get to this. That's true, but this is a template being deployed, so I only ever care if you go to the top one. And if none of them are available, then it'll just say no capacity found for the labs, try back later. So if somebody was using all the labs that were available, then there would be none in here generated every minute. They would slowly be going away, and as people were using them all or rebooting them all, then we would get down here to just no capacity found for them. And that's, I don't know, that's kind of where that all landed. I don't know, kind of fun, kind of a. Let me see. All right. Yeah, watch. He'll come back up, and then Hammer 3 will come back on. Also, I forgot that the Hammer nodes had SE Linux on, but that's probably fine. That's probably good with what we're trying to do. All right, where are we at here? We need to go look at the game we're playing, which is Mechabellum, and I think we won. Yeah, so we've won both of them so far. Or we've won all the rounds so far. And let's see if, I don't think the game's gonna properly respond to us. So we probably don't need the supply. The supply is normally what we would do if we knew this game was gonna go into the later rounds. It's very unlikely the game's gonna go into the later rounds against this bot now. So we'll just go here. We'll just make some more of these guys. Put them over here. And we're going to level this one up. And we're going to promote just this one, and then we're going to give them all energy shields. So now they're even harder to kill. And this guy definitely is not responding. Obviously, we're not playing against this person, but this is not responding well as far as the bot goes. But again, we are playing it on the hardest mode for the bot, but the bot still doesn't always have, like what you'll run into against people. But the main reason I'm not playing against people right now is because we're talking about other stuff, and if you're playing against people, you only have like 2 minutes to decide. So I couldn't be out talking about other stuff. We'd be messed up. We'd be getting hammered. Oh yeah, death by 1,000 cuts right there. 17 at a time. All right. Let's go with improved firepower. Let's promote this guy. Give him improved firepower. Let's promote him again. and then we're going to give them all elite marksman, which means that they get more damage and more distance. And we'll go ahead and make some more of them. Put over here. That's fine. And that's good. Do a little more damage too. So yeah, but for people that are newer around here, we do Linux and Linux related activities. We're mostly a group that focuses on the professional side of it, which is server builds, system maintenance, system security, that kind of stuff. We do all aspects, I guess, of Linux, but for the most part, we're just hanging around today and doing gaming and talking shop. We're all done with our security engineering course, so that's up online, that's free. And our security admin course is also finished, but we are going through it, and the guys have been building the book for it and stuff like that for the group. Those books are all found in our Discord or over here. These are like completely free books that are online. I can link them to you guys. People that want them. Boom. Boom. There you go. Now you can't say I didn't give you anything. The other one is PSC. And this is the security course. Oh, by the way, they create them all inside of GitHub. But then we want. Let's go to, is this one good? This one should be good. Ah, yeah, this one's the security one. So if you guys want to do the security engineering course, that's right here. And this is what the course looks like for security engineering. Yeah, we have all kinds of little projects we do around here and things that we kind of mess around with for people. Discord is free. You can hang out down there, talk shop with everybody. Home lab stuff. There you go, boom. Also, our bot doesn't have programming in it to not remind it to keep telling people that they're the 4,000th user. So hopefully we get just enough people over 4,000 that it stops happening. But as people leave and come back in, it keeps just going over 4,000 or under 4,000. So it's kind of funny. Hopefully it'll stop doing that soon. Like us to get past that little benchmark or whatever, or a milestone or whatever you want to call it. So, all right, and we'll play insane mode one more time, and we'll probably see if the wife's coming home. She shouldn't be here too long. She's getting back. But yeah, if you guys have questions about what we do and that kind of stuff, let me know. All right, man, we got a lot of options here. Got giant specialists, get giants. Marksman specialists, get marksman. Let's go giant. Let's do giant, but let's do this different than I've been doing. I've been doing the aerial giant units every time. Let's see what happens if we do this a little bit different way. And we'll go. I'm curious how this guy's gonna stack his units, but let's see how this looks. We'll go with a fortress next round. So we'll get a fortress next round. We won't get one this round, unfortunately, but we'll be able to get the next round. We should be able to do a pretty good volley on these guys with our Stormcallers. Yeah, because that's literally the worst formation they could have for Stormcallers. The long walk like that, because then you're just in the range, and no matter what RNG you get hit the most like that. So we got about a 50-50 right now winning this one. We'll see. Still possible. We got the right side probably. Nope, we lost the. Okay, yeah, we lost it. That's fine. That's not a big deal. We didn't expect it to go perfectly. Now, what can we do? Take any of these. We can take shield airdrop if we wanted. And then we're going to take our first of our big guys. And whatever, we'll just drop this over here. That's good for now. They have made their guys shoot faster. but lower damage. So that's not what they wanted with the big fortress coming at them. That's for sure. and soon to be many fortresses coming at them. Yeah. They don't have anything here that can take that fortress out yet. So that's one of the things about giant units. They're very strong, but they're also very expensive, and they lock your stuff up. Yeah. We're gonna clean this up. Pretty good. Those guys aren't moving. Yeah. They won't. And then here's the thing. This is the bad thing for somebody that doesn't have good shield damage. Is now my shield will be 100% at the next level. So if you don't break a shield, or we call it not having good shield break, then, well, now you're screwed, because now it starts over. Starts over at full, and there's going to be a fortress there, because now I have enough money for my next fortress. Go ahead and do an orbital bombardment, because we're jerks. Orbital bombardment will just hit his whole side with a bunch of bad stuff, and then we're going to drop this down, and we're going to promote that guy. And we can't get anything with these guys yet, but soon we're going to be able to get little barriers with them, and then they'll just make a shield dome around everything. And that makes, there's a few reasons that's really good, but one of the main ones is it's very hard for him to hit me with, like, area effect, because I'll always have shields up. So, if we get good RNG, oh yeah, they killed multiple units of his right there. Sometimes you get really bad RNG with it, it just depends. Oh yeah, this is gonna be a wipe. Just a full, just walking over the top of them. Alright, let's see how this next one goes. Alright, do we want any of these? No. We'll take Sabretooth. We're going to buy something here called Field Recovery, and we're going to sell him for 600. So we netted, I don't know, 300 or so extra from whatever we had, and that allows us to buy another one of these here. And we can space these guys out a little bit so other dudes can be in between, and we're going to give them shields. So now they get shields every round too. And this is going to be real bad for the computer. And we'll go ahead and just make some more of these storm callers, and then we'll keep going. So he's going to try that, but all that's going to do is take out my shield. Right? So it didn't even finish the shield, and it didn't hurt anybody inside the shield. So, and it doesn't matter if they take out those shields; they'll come back every round now. So that's pretty terrible for the enemy. Looks like the rhinos that he deployed exploded, but all they did was explode on the shield, so they didn't even hurt my giant on the right, and or the fortress on the right. And this is not looking good for them, all in all. Also, they have yet to break that shield on the right, so that shield's going to be full again next round, every time. So, if you were playing against this, you would be very frustrated, because this is going to be a snowball. This is just not getting any better for them. Oh well, yeah, not getting any better. So computers tried. Now we get another shield airdrop. We can also put this on our guys. We can make our fortresses better. They'll get more attack and hit points and movement speed, but they decrease their range a little bit. We'll take that, and we'll take 2 more of them. And this is just a mess. And then we could just drop another shield back here, you know, whatever. We'll just upgrade all these guys. And then we go. So now, there's just shields all over my map. There's all kinds of, and again, they refresh every time too, so that's nice. Those guys are all going to explode, but again, only hitting shields. Yeah, this is pretty textbook, going over the top of them. Oh, $2,000 in the hole. Not too bad. Sometimes the bots give up a better fight than that, but DPR said, "Hey Scott, I got in the company as a DevSecOps intern, and I have SNEC to scan their code base. That's a lot of false positives. What's your opinion on mitigating vulns at enterprise level?" All right, so I haven't done a whole lot of SAST, which is what you're asking about, which is the static application security testing. I haven't done a lot of that in my career. I'm mostly down underneath on the Linux side of things, and when I've done red team stuff, our application code like that was done by the application code was done by one of our Vuln teams. So we dealt with dynamic application security testing. So we hit boxes and applications once they came up, but I've never done really a lot of the like that kind of stuff. I can tell you though, if there's a lot of false positives, you just got to keep track of what's popping up over and over again, because the reason I like to know is because then if it ever does become a real vulnerability, or if it's a real vulnerability but it's been mitigated by something else and we're considering it a false positive, but it's really showing up because it really is, like let's say somebody can make an API respond with a 300 when it's not supposed to be responding at all, and then you go, well, that's not really a problem because, you know, on our back end we don't ever let that connection come back, and that's fine or whatever, but the check that's finding it, and I'm talking dynamic again, but the check that's finding it is real, meaning you have to treat it like it's real even if you have a valid mitigation in place. And the reason is because if anybody ever turns off that mitigation, they're like, why is this on? Oh, we'll just stop it in this new version. That immediately becomes a real vulnerability, right? Yeah, so it tells something that exists in the package so we don't use it, so it's useless info. Yeah, but that's also, I mean, that's similar to like what happened with Log4j, right? Like, people knew that Log4j had the ability to do things that it shouldn't do, and people used it anyways, ignoring the fact that then when you wrote to it, you could just cause DNS to overwrite in the system, and there was all kinds of things that Log4j could do even without like root privilege on a box, right? Like, there was a tremendous amount of things that could do if the Java app that was running it had more permissions than it should. So even then with Log4j, like, there were so many things that we already had mitigated down inside of our containers and stuff that it was almost useless to like attack us with it. But it's still like something we have to note because people are still trying to attack us with it. Like, if you were trying to attack me with like a little pistol, but I had some like armor, like one of these little bots here, and anything under a 22 didn't really hurt me, that doesn't mean that I should still let you shoot at me with a 22. Because one day maybe I forget to put that thing on and you shoot me with a 22 and it actually legitimately like hurts. And I know people joke around, they're like, 22's, that's a small caliber round, it's this and this. 22s kill more people in inner cities than most other caliber handguns. You can look that up if you ever want. But my point in saying that is the threat is still real. So what you're asking about, like, we don't have like it's not really, we have mitigations or other things in place. It's possible that you still have to kind of keep track of it, if that makes sense. So yeah, DPR, I would just say that, keep track of it, and then, do whatever your best mitigation practices are. Let's do Giant Specialist again. So we'll do Giant Specialist. This is the same one we just played, but with a different starting. And we'll play this one different. We'll go a different way here. Yeah, no, that's my thoughts on it. I don't do SAST. I've done a lot of DAST in my time, which is Dynamic Application Security Testing, hitting things with Burp Suite and with like custom scripts that I've written. There's also a newer player in town for that called K6s. Yeah, shoot him in the leg. Yeah, K6 is one from Grafana, and it's actually pretty powerful for static and dynamic load testing of web pages. So there's some pretty cool stuff on that you can play with too. Let's get back to boating, man. I haven't boated anybody in a while, so I'm gonna boat somebody here. And it's just a bot, right? But it's still funny. And the reason we're playing bots instead of people is because it gives me time to talk to you guys if we want. Like, we can go back and forth and look at these different things. If I was playing people, I would have to respond too quick. So, oh yeah. Oh man, we're losing the left big time. That's okay. We knew we were gonna lose the first round. We always do, because we're playing. We're playing for the boats. We're playing for the boat game. We might clean this up more than we thought though, because we're gonna get this tower. So that's cool. And then maybe we turn around and kill a few of these before it's too bad. We are about to get, oh yeah, we're gonna get wiped right here. But we at least did a decent start. Ah, we could go Wraith. But I don't want to go Wraith. I want to go boats. So we're going to go over here. Go to the corner. We're going to drop our boat over here. Right? Boom. Boated. We always call that getting boated. And then we'll leave these guys up here. This is going to take a little while to get in the first round, and then they're going to charge in. They'll get that. We could just have a humble rocket right here, which will kill at least one of those off and at least slow this game down a little bit. Huh, humble rocket. There we go. Yeah, thanks for coming, Ewo, on site. Yeah. We're just hanging out today. We're not working super hard. Right side, popping them right there. Good start. He should be able to help our sniper out for a second. Alright. Keep him off our thing for just a little bit longer. Be able to get our guys down. Take out their base. Take out the base. Alright. Tower down. If we can get their sniper, that'll be pretty good. We'll have a good chance. Yeah, we should get their sniper here. They're gonna get our tower. But we only have one guy that can hit us, and that's this guy. So yeah, they're still gonna win this round, but it's a lot closer. Hey Colchis, how's it going? Yeah, we lost this one. That's okay. Colchis, we haven't done too much technology today. We've just been kind of messing around. We did drop Pop OS on our system. Yeah, we lost this one pretty good. It's okay. It's okay. Next one will be better. I think that's the last one we lose right there. Colchis, we did this earlier. We put Pop OS on here, and we did a little pop test for our system and built a little. Oh, I didn't know it was gonna lock like that. Alright, well. I put a new app on there. We were messing around with apps to see what apps were there. And there was a ferret visualization, which I thought sounded fun. And then, what is this doing? Yes. Optimize for 7.6. Oh, this is from Noah. I work for Noah. Let's see. Shazlin, you asked what game this is. This is a game called Mechabellum, and then we're also doing a little bit of Linux on the side. So, what was that? Hold on. Are they not going to let me copy that? Copy. Boom. Don't care about your privacy notice. Paste. Boom. I'm curious what this is going to show. What is this ferret inside of NOAA.gov? Again, I work with them. It wants to computer visualization of analysis environment designed to meet the needs of oceanographers and meteorologists analyzing large and complex gridded data sets. Runs on recent Unix and Mac systems using XDisplay. HiFerret introduced in 2012. Okay, this is interesting. It was developed by Thermal Modeling and Analysis Project and PMEL in Seattle to analyze outputs of its numerical ocean models and compare them with gridded observational data. All right. What are we doing with it then? Ah, a bunch of lists of publications. So if you were getting into doing this, there's publications back to 97. Maybe even earlier. But for sure 97. 95, 91. All right. It's been around a while, this ferret software. So there you go. Oh, let's get back to our thing. Let's hide our panel. We were going boats, right? Because we are giant specialists. So whenever we deal with giants, we always want heavy armor. That's very important. And we're going to put another boat up because now you're getting boated. And we're going to put more heavy armor there. And more damage. Boated. What we call getting boated, guys. Yeah, Colchis, I haven't messed with it much yet. I was just putting it in the lab because, you know, everybody always wants me to do more Linux, and people always want me to do more desktop Linux, right? So I was doing some more desktop Linux to make everybody happy. All right, we've killed off almost everything that can even hurt our towers or our big guys. So let's see how it goes. Oh my gosh, get them off the tower. We did manage to get our boat down. That's a problem. Oh my gosh, stop shooting like an idiot. Worst thing about the boats is that they shoot so dumb. They are very, very bad sometimes at shooting. But once we get them to the ground cannons, they'll wipe this. So. Recruitment costs down. Get our boats over here, and then we're going to make them into motherships. All right. Before I play this one, I'm going to take a quick break again. While we're waiting on the break, you guys should check the different stuff out that we have for the Professional Linux Users Group. I'll just let this thing spin here for a little bit. But the guys have been putting together some really awesome books for you guys. These books are all free. You can go find them in the Discord. You know, we just got different stuff going on inside of there, and you guys can check that all out. Let's see how the Home Lab's doing. Home Lab's doing Home Lab stuff online. Excalidraw, yeah, we were doing enterprise deployments yesterday. This is the way the new lab works. Actually, I need to update the way the new lab works in here. We're gonna get a new version of that and that. We're talking about MITRE attack stuff, supply chain. We were talking about that. All right. People were talking about, yeah. All right. That's good for now. All right. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then we'll finish our game of Mechabellum. Added Unit 10 recording. Nice. I saw that you guys weren't meeting as much anymore, but I knew that you guys were. I knew that you guys were working. Actually, and Chris is over on YouTube, or he was over on YouTube, and he was telling me that you guys are just kind of working through the last of the stuff, so that's good. You guys get a break after all your other stuff. All right. I'm back. Yeah, Colchis, how did I sat here? I was here for most of the presentations yesterday, um, but were there any you particularly liked? There were 3 people that spoke yesterday. Um, I wasn't sure how you thought they went, Colchis. I saw yours, and then I saw Treasures part of it. I know Treasures was mostly just like the philosophy of it, not so technical. And then I saw Zorgles for a little bit, and he was doing the larger like SCADA control systems. It seemed like, and he was talking about like connecting into them and monitoring them stuff. So it was kind of good. Yeah, I had never heard Dragos till he mentioned it. That was kind of cool. Yeah, that was a pretty cool little thing he was doing. All right, I'm gonna take the break off because the wife's coming home, so I only have a little bit of time. Let's see if we can't finish this up. How are we doing? All right, so we're losing. We haven't won one yet, but that doesn't mean that we're gonna lose the whole thing. Let's we're still coming across there. We lost even though we got this cheap hit on them, and we got Mothership now, so that's good. We'll get a lot more. Let's see how we do. See how well we do just messing these guys up here. They are stunned for 5 or 10 seconds. I think it's about 5 seconds they're stunned. Alright. Alright. We lost our towers, so that's no good for us. Also, our guys did not very effectively go the way that they probably should have. But we now have a lot of cannon fodder, so we're going to win this one. Perfect. Now it's going to start to steamroll out of control for them. I literally don't want any of these, but I guess steel balls. Sure, whatever. Now we can get 2 more. You know what? I think these guys coming from the side over here. These guys over here. We're gonna upgrade all these guys. Alright, let's see if we can just... Oh no! He did he launched a nuke, man. Nukes are like... They're just this one level, like, auto win. Like, basically you're just gonna wipe everything right there and win. But... man. You just kill everything in there. Oh, what a mess. But for that one round, you basically win. As long as you position it right, you win that round. But that was still just brutal. Now we gotta see if we can survive the match. Alright, that's annoying. They got to the base. That's my tower. Alright. So we don't really count losses behind a nuke as long as it doesn't take you out, because now we're gonna... oh, yes. Even lower recruiting costs for my giants. Good. More giants. More giants. And then we don't have the ability to buy the ground cannon that I want, but we will up the life of the one that has the additional damage. So can't see him. To promote him, you gotta be able to see him to promote him. Alright. This one should be better for us. Yeah, we'll win this one. And then when we get the ground cannons, we're going to walk them. So that's the next one. Once we got the ground cannons, we walk these guys because they just, everything on the ground will be dead. Yeah, I don't know much about... I haven't played with those Abyss units yet, but They're not very good against a bunch of mini targets. Their single damage is really good, but or their single arcing damage is really good, but not when there's a bunch of units that are out of alignment, you know. Yeah, there you go. That is gonna probably almost be game because we hit them so hard. Yep, we win. All right. Let's go back over here. Look at this real quick. Those publications. Let's get back over here. So let's see if we can find any examples on the old interwebs. And here's a user guide right here. I use NetCDF data. Interesting. Oh, we could pull individual. Oh, okay, okay. So we could visualize data right inside here. See how it keeps saying yes? Use example data. Oh, I see. We could pull in NetCDF data as well. Okay, okay. So that's, you can bound around things. Okay. So I wonder if then you can use this to create some type of loop and then generate whatever you're setting up. Third-party tools, GIFs. Oh, GIFsicle. How do you pronounce? Huh, your mama. That's funny. Interesting. All right. So we could play with that if we wanted to. We could even do a little series on that if you guys wanted. That might be kind of fun. I'm always trying to get you guys doing more of the data analytics stuff because that doesn't directly do, you know, what we do with Linux, but a lot of people seem to be interested in that kind of stuff. So it's also what my brother Tommy does, is data analytics for a pretty good sized insurance company. All right, we'll play one more. Let's do aerial specialist. And with our aerial specialist, it's not going to cost anything to unlock aerial units. So instead of using snipers this round, as you guys have seen me use snipers almost every round, we're going to switch it up, and instead of snipers, we're going to use a unit called a Phoenix. Phoenix. You only get 2 of them, but they're pretty strong. They hit about as hard as a sniper does. They've got some really high damage, single target. So they won't be useful on any of this, but if these guys all get taken out, these fangs, nothing can hit these guys. So that'll be good. It'll take them a long time to kill everything on the board, but they would eventually kill everything on the board. As long as all the fangs are dead, the Phoenixes can't be hit by anything. Alright. Let these last little things finish up. Alright. We want them to have laser sights so they can shoot even further. And we'll put another one over here. And that's good for now. We'll save the rest of our money. They have not responded, so Same thing. Kill all the fangs. Don't have to worry about anything else. It looks like the fangs did manage to take out one of my phoenixes on the right side. So yeah, it's always something you gotta watch out for. Not too bad. I literally don't want any of these things, but we'll take these. And we'll take more fangs. And we will then make the fangs, or sorry, I said fangs, phoenixes. We'll make them long range. So now they're shooting from even farther away. Which is going to matter here in a little bit, because then we're going to make them shoot twice as fast, which is going to take some of that range back away. But that's fine, because they'll be shooting twice as fast and still doing a tremendous amount of damage. So they'll be able to clear chaff faster. It's kind of a trade-off. Let's see, more fangs coming in on the left. They would have been a problem, but they got EMP'd, so now it's just going to be terrible, terrible time for them all around. They're not going to even be able to do any damage. That's pretty good. Pretty good run. Now we just need to keep getting more of the phoenixes. And I don't want any of that. Okay, it's gonna hit harder. And oh. We'll let these guys hit harder too, and we'll give them field maintenance so they heal, and then they're just harder for everybody to kill, giving my guys, you know, my phoenixes more time to kill. That's going to be a wipe for them. Full on wipe. Oh, one more round. We'll give them one more round and then we'll be done. Sure, efficient tech research, whatever. That just knocks down the cost of our tech, and then we're going to do launcher overload, so now we're going to be shooting even faster. And we'll upgrade one of these. Yeah, that's pretty alright. So now they're shooting twice as fast, but they have a little bit less range than they, somewhere between where they started with and where they had gotten to. But now they're much better at clearing out the chaff on the ground. Yeah, they're gonna just wipe these. Oh, also I hear the wife's home, so I better get out of here. All you guys that are coming by, hanging out in the Discord, you guys are always welcome down there. Mostly why we do this stuff is to tell you guys that you can have careers in this space, and you can do this stuff. You just got to start doing it. So, all right, I will talk to some of you guys later on. I might be back on later on tonight. If I do, it'll all be working on research stuff. So if I'm on for that, that's what I'll be doing. All right, take care.